Oh, hey, how's it going? It's me again, back for another Sequester Mini. Today we are discussing last night's special themed Emo Night Mini. I have joining me a special, we don't do this. Normally it's one of the other Podquester people joining me today, but we're making a special exception tonight for a special first-time player last night. Let's bring him in. He's never played before. Lou. How's it going, Lou?
Hello, TR. It's an absolute joy to be here. I've heard good things about this Podquester podcast. What is this going out on the iTunes?
Yeah, you can find it on your Zune, Leo or Lou. Oh fuck, I'm already messing it up. Yeah,
that's all right. Excuse me, my beard is falling.
Lou, oh my gosh, are you okay?
It's been happening for a while there, TR, but
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's a disease that I have. It's fallen beard syndrome.
Oh wow, that's
rough.
That's tough, Lou. That's real rough.
It's real rough.
It's real rough. Lou, I'm so glad that you're here with me and that we can, no shade, no tea on any of the other players, but I felt some good vibes from you, Lou. I don't know what it was. I thought I had to get you on the show.
My good friends, we like to play polo, and they were telling me about this game called Sequester, and it sounded like something that was real intriguing. It sounded really neat. So I wanted to give it a try, and I watched a few of them, and I put my proverbial hat in the ring, and it was a great bit of fun.
Well, it was fun, Lou. It was a lot of fun watching. And what's also fun, and that we haven't had in a while, is a good hot clip. We got a clip from last night's mini. I want to show. This was a clip that I really got a kick out of, and it features you, Lou. So let's
see it.
Let's pull it up. Let's see here. Let's see if you're going to be able to hear this. All right, here we go.
How am I doing, y'all? This beard is killing me. Like, literally, I can't talk without it going into my mouth. This is not what I expected going. By the way, guys, my name isn't Lou. It's Louie from Podquester Mini. I don't know if you've caught on to that yet. But I'm trying to trick them. They'll never see it coming. It's an elaborate ruse. It's a ruse.
Wow. What do you have to say for yourself, Louie? Take that damn beard off. Take it off. You trick these people. You trick these people.
You got me. I feel foolish. I feel foolish. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm not a liar, typically. I had to do what I had to do.
I'm shocked.
I hope you all can forgive me, really.
How could you just
go back to my normal form?
Players.
It's, I really wanted to win, and I felt that was my only option, was to deceive. And deceit, it's not a good thing to do. We shouldn't. I don't, tell people to deceive. But in this case, it's a game. So
Louis,
I apologize.
You can't be greedy. You already got your win. You played in winners.
It's never enough. I want all the wins.
All right.
I want to be the best. I want to be on the Mount Rushmore of Sequester.
That's fair. That's fair. I can appreciate that. I haven't had one win, so
I'm going to retire the hat for now. Maybe not the beard, but we'll put that away. We'll put that away.
I think that's for the best. So what I want to do now is I want to bring in some of these great people we have joining us. We have a bunch of players from the game. I think we have like 17 or 18 people joining us over the course of the show, so that's going to be fun. We're going to be going through the course of the rounds. We're going to talk about the twists and the turns, and boy, won't that be fun. So let's bring in some of them to join us right off the bat. We have a few more backstage. You know how this works. We've been here before. This isn't your first rodeo. It's going to be a sliding panel. Going to slide some guests in, going to slide some guests out, and more will come in a little later on down the line. But to start us off for now, let's bring in someone who, in her first mini, she was a Rob goddess. This time, she got to go a little farther. She really was very entertaining to watch. We were all rooting for her. Let's bring in Cammy. How's it going, Cammy?
Oh, hi, I didn't think you were talking about me.
Yeah, what do you think we were talking about? Come on.
I don't know. I was like, oh, what? Let me see her. Hey, y'all. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you for joining us. You know, a lot of people were very excited when those screens went live and they saw you. They were really pumped to root for you because, again, the last time you were robbed. You were robbed.
It was sad.
It was sad. Do you feel like you got to, you know, have a little bit more of the Sequester experience this go around?
I mean, I have way too much Sequester experience. This is probably my 500th time playing this game.
I know. You're no.
But no, I mean, it was cool to like come into like this generation of minis and how because Lou isn't here. Yeah, man, fuck Lou.
Yeah, I hate that guy. So glad he didn't show up. So glad.
Right. Thank God. He would have been in for it, let me tell you. No, it's so cool to see like how it's evolved, and I'm still very confused about how a lot of it's played, but you know, I feel like I got some tips and tricks, and I feel like I got to like put a little old school in there. So
you really brought it. You were a force to be reckoned with, and it was so. I was especially torn because it was fun watching you and rooting for you while you were also really pushing for a friend of mine who I talked to applying. My friend Elijah, who was not familiar with any of this, and I was like, yeah, you should do this, go for it. And he was like, okay. And then he did it, and boom, already first like 2-3 rounds, like gunning for him. It was killing me, but it was also awesome. It was great TV. You know, I couldn't ask for anything more.
Oh, sorry, Elijah.
He may be joining us, he may not. I hope he's not too sad. I think he's fine.
Me too. Yeah, I think he'd be all right.
He's got a good sense of humor. He can take things in stride, I should say. Maybe not a good
sense of humor. Okay.
Okay, so let's bring in some of the other people we got. He was second boot in the last time he played, and he was second place last night. Let's, seeing some twos here, seeing some maybe angel numbers, some recurring thing. I don't know. Christian, you tell us what's going on, man.
I don't know. I did not expect to be the second person. Like, I thought we were going in like most iconic.
I have like no sensical order to how I'm bringing people in.
You got to throw in a dud here.
There's no sense. You can't.
Is there a question?
Is there a question? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
What's up?
Not much. Just grieving. Just thinking about all the things I should have done differently. But I'm actually really feeling really good. I'm really happy. I'm just really, I don't know how to I never expected to be in the position I was in at the end there. I just didn't want to go second again. So I was content the moment I made it through that second round, because I watched the commentary back and PM brought up that the round I got nominated after the first boot was the same round I went home, and I was having flashbacks to, oh my God, if I go in this round again, I'm going to probably die, like for real, like my body will seize. So the fact that I made it through that was more than enough for me, and I was just going with the flow after that.
Well, again, from second place, or from second boot to second place, that's a huge improvement, and there's so much that could have gone wrong there for you. There's so many twists that could have screwed you over, and you really came back, and you came back strong. So that's, what more could you do besides, win?
Yeah, that's a rough question to ask, because I think the answer is I could have won. That's
you wanted the question. I don't know, Christian. You wanted the question, Christian. What do you want from me? Come on.
There's always the next time. Potentially there's always the next time.
Absolutely. Let's bring in the person who, I hate to say usurped you, but come on, she did. Sam, how's it going? Sam.
Hello.
Hey, the winner. Congratulations. How's it going?
Thank you. Good. Definitely, I'm still like in shock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is that? You didn't expect to do as well or go as far?
I definitely like came into this one a little less nervous than I played my first time. And each time, my old game, I just was not safe like every single round. I was like always up for elimination. And then when it was like the first 2 rounds and I was safe and I was like, oh, cool, great. Like get to relax for a bit. And then once like the game started going and my name wasn't really being thrown out, but I was just like, okay, like I gotta like do this. I gotta like play. I gotta like do stuff, throw out names, like, and just play. And I had a good time doing it. Like I just wanted to have fun. And the fact that I was able to get to the end with Christian, especially, who I wanted to be final 2 with, and then just win and have a good time was great.
I mean, yeah, that sounds like you ticked off all the boxes of a banner Sequester evening. So many people are, even if they do make it far, they toss and turn over, what could I have done differently? What could this have gone differently? Even some people who win, they win with, people will say asterisks by their names because of missteps or mistakes. But I think you had a very successful evening, and it was a very satisfying end to a very all-around really great mini. It was, a lot of people were saying this was one of the best minis they've seen in a while. So all of you backstage, all the other players coming on later, you guys should be very proud. You put on a good show for the audience, I'd say. So let's bring in Dante. I want to say, Dante, I really hope your computer or your lap or whatever it was you spilled your drink on last night has recovered and dried up. How's it going?
Hi. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Yes. Now, you were saying something before the show started that I thought was interesting. Now, in recent Sequester games, they've kind of been maybe cracking down a little bit more on drinking, because we've had some incidents with people going a little too overboard. We all saw Drew's game about a month ago where in the safety chain round, someone was trying to help him get safety, and he just kept saying, fuck you, I'm voting you out, fuck you, and didn't understand what was going on. So because of that, they've been trying to advise maybe like 1 or 2 drinks only. And Dante, what was your workaround for that? What was your loophole there?
So my famous Cancun Senior Frogs party cup. So 1 drink. Yeah, my boyfriend was like, you totally just violated. There's probably, I don't know how many drinks going to this thing. And I'm not even a drinker, so it hit me real hard, and I was just nervous. And so whenever it was just like a waiting period, I would just have fun. And yeah, what a roller coaster.
I need one of those for next game. Empty all my juice boxes.
All your Capri Suns.
All my Capri Suns right in that. Don't have to worry about that.
I don't even know what I was thinking. I was just like, I did it again. So there we go. Make another meme.
Someone make a meme of it. Come on. All right. We have a couple more people joining us right now before we get into some of our intro video discussion, some of our pregame discussion. So joining us next, we have someone who's actually been a long-time viewer, first-time caller, you could say. Bryce, how's it going, buddy? How's it going, man?
We're here. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. Thank you. I'm excited to have you. We're excited to get into it. What were your thoughts overall on the night?
Obviously I would have much preferred to have lasted a little bit longer. Didn't want to go out that early, but I had a blast. It was a ton of fun. And I'm definitely going to try to play again and get back in there.
Well, that's good. Yes, all of you should try to play again. I know we were also talking before the show about how, of course, there's so many more patrons. So obviously there's a lot of people that we want to give the opportunity to play to, but that doesn't mean that you still can't play again in like a week or 2 or, try again. Go for it. Play again. Come on.
I'll submit a video every time. And if you want me, you want me. And if not, I'll just keep applying.
There you go. Absolutely.
I'm Survivor, but I can do it every week. So eventually you'll get there.
Absolutely.
Right?
Exactly. It's such a good thing about Sequester, and we've said it before, but like again with like Big Brother and Survivor, so many of those people, unless they are the true all-stars, they only get the one and done. That's it. That's all they get to play the game. And the beauty of this game is you can kind of come back and you can kind of retool and perfect and kind of tinker and adjust your approach to things. And
exactly,
that's why
try to knock that forth again.
There you go. I mean, again, look at Christian, second boot to second place. Louis, in his first game, he went out like round 3, and then he played the next night and won. So it's like it's definitely possible. You just gotta sometimes you gotta reassess. Let's bring in the last person rounding out the panel for now. We have Michael. Michael, how's it going, man?
Oh my God, I'm so great. How is everyone?
I cannot.
Yeah, I'm great.
I just want to say, my friend Elijah may have called you boring, and I am so sorry on his behalf.
Honestly, he should be sorry as well.
You seem perfectly not boring. I don't know. I don't know what he was.
It's all good. It's all fun. If he thought I was boring, that's fine. It's okay. I'll get over it.
All good. Sometimes in those first rounds, you're just looking for the easy out, the easy vote, and that's probably honestly what it was. But thank you guys for joining us so much. Let's get into it. I want to know, of course, Cammy, you here are probably like the biggest veteran in a sense and the most versed in this realm. But for the rest of you, what is your familiarity with the game? Like, have you watched a bunch? Have you played before? Was this your first time? That's what I want to know.
I've been watching for a hot minute, probably about 2 months. Quarantine has definitely made me need something to watch, and I've loved it. I've been watching all your recaps. I've been watching, the Brown Girls podcast. I've been watching all of it, so I've been loving it. But I've never played, so I finally applied, and it turned out it was emo night. I'm not an emo person, but we figured it out, and it was a blast. Anybody else?
I didn't know what the hell this was. Like 2 months ago, my friend Nick was like, "This great thing, Sequester. Like, watch it." And I watched the game that he did, and I was like, "Oh, I could do this. This is easy, sure." And then I played, and I got out like 5th, and I was like, "Okay, like, let me relax for a bit." And I just seeing everyone in like the community being like hyping it up and like so obsessed with it, I was like, okay, like I gotta like give this another run. Like this like is cool. Everyone is like amazing in like this community and everything. And so I think I'm like hooked now.
No, I'm the same. I didn't really know what Sequester Minis were until I saw like everybody on Twitter around like the RHAP one, and I was like, this looks fun. Everybody's having so much fun. So I started sending in videos. I'd be like refreshing my email like every Wednesday, every Friday at noon. I'd like have the emails queued up and just send them right out. And I got on, and I was really excited. And I think it's great. Like it's great for like the people who get to play, but I think it's even better that like the community has something like this to like centralize us all around and like keep us all invested in each other together. I love the game. I love the people. I think it's really great. It's really exciting to be part of it.
Yeah, I think no matter like whether you are a second boot or whenever you go, the moment you get out of your first game, it's like a whole new world kind of opens up of just a support system that, I mean, I frankly never knew could exist on something like social media. I've always seen it as kind of like a very negative place, a cynical place. And the past month and a half has just completely shifted just my attitude when I'm on social media, because I'm around mostly positive people who are just supporting each other nonstop. It's been a really awesome experience.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that's been one of the biggest things is like the community is so accepting and wonderful, and like the love that I got on social media last night, honestly, like kind of took my breath away in terms of how, supportive people are. And that's why I love the community so much. I had watched the live Sequesters, but I started watching after the RHAP one because I love Robert, that whole community. And also I love Kirsten McInnes, and she was playing. So I watched that. As soon as I watched that, I was like, I have to play. And like in my dream scenario, I was like, I'm going to play and, I'm going to win. And then I'm going to be like on a podcast every week. And I'm going to like talk to survivors and stuff. And I'm like, this is what's going to happen. It would be so amazing in like a dream world. And actually all ended up happening, oddly enough, which I can't believe. But yeah, that was kind of my getting into here.
Yeah, it's super fun for us. My boyfriend and I, will just like watch it and project it on the wall and like click around and just, yeah, it's so much fun. I started season 2 of the live show on YouTube. And then I watched Cammy's season on the Black Hat, of course. So I was like standing when she showed up in my starting room. I was like, from the show.
I was so excited to see Cammy.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you guys.
You just bring such a good energy to everything.
Thank you. I do want to say, like, I think, like Tiara was saying, like, I have been around for a really long time, and it's so crazy, like, even like all these people that say they have just found out about it, it's like I've been doing this for years, and it's so awesome to see like all the love and all these people that are very accepting, and especially in the realm of reality TV, there's not a whole lot of communities that are like that. A lot of them are so much filled with hate and anger, and it's just like for no reason. But for the most part here, like everybody just loves everybody. Everybody can't be loved, but you know what I mean? But like, you know what I mean? Like, but for the most part, it's like, everybody really appreciates that. And I know that Audrey appreciates the shit out of this. Like, people are doing podcasts now. Like when Black Cat first came out, I did the after show and it was very shitty looking. It was like nothing like this. But it was just like all of us, we were all just trying to figure everything out. But like now there's multiple podcasts and like people are really excited. They're doing like after shows like right after, and like I don't know, it's just so cool to see all this. It's really exciting.
It's a great time to get into it.
It is. No, yeah, it's the best time. It's the best time. For real, like thousands of people. When I played online, like maybe 100 something people would watch, but like thousands of people are watching this. And that's just so crazy to me. Like, and just watching minis, like when I played online, it was for a whole week. And there was only a few hundred people watching, but like people are tuned in for 4 hours. Like there's hella people watching this podcast right now. Like that's so cool.
I agree.
Reno loved you, even though you threw Reno's name out. That's great. That's great. You gotta love it. I have to agree. Of course. I mean, I'm one of the people doing the podcast that you're talking about. I mean, it's been a great time. We've been doing it for a couple of months, and it's been a lot of fun to see it grow and see the community grow. And when we were starting just a couple months ago, Sequester was like hitting like 300 patrons or something, and now they're almost at like 1,000, and it's just growing and growing and growing, and it's going to continue growing, and it's it's very exciting to see. So every time a mini happens, it's like welcoming like a bunch of new people, like a bunch of new friends in, and it's just especially being able to do this podcast, like being able to give players like a bigger voice to defend their moves or kind of dissect the strategies a little bit. Like I feel like allows the audience to get to know you a little bit better too, and it just helps in that process. But now that we're talking about that, like let's get into the game. Let's talk about the first round. So in the first round, the premise was it was a traditional vote, but the person who would be eliminated, they would be able to secretly will someone an LOS, as well as nominate 6 people for elimination in the next round. And I actually, let me see if I can pull it up here, but I have a chart of not the voting chart, unfortunately, but the twists and who was eliminated, the flops, all that good stuff. So in the first round, of course, this was where Joe was eliminated. At the top of the game, we already had, unfortunately, Robin eliminated because of some miscommunication with her not knowing that she was playing. So we were already down to 19 players at the top of round 1. And this was the round where Joe was eliminated. So what I want to know was Joe the clear target from the get-go? Because I know he was, and I know there was a few names going around. It was between him and a few other people. But from the starting rooms, from your perceptions of the intro videos, where was your head at? Who did you want to go after? And how did you adjust your strategy or pull other people in to get to the end result? Anyone who wants to, start us off.
I mean,
go.
No, go.
No.
I mean, I was just
All right.
For me, I was gonna see in the beginning who everyone else kind of wanted out, and I when I started hearing Joe's name and I heard like Dylan's name, Dylan was in my starting room, but so I was pushing for Joe, and I honestly couldn't even really remember Joe from the video. But my strategy in the beginning was just wait to see who people weren't a fan of, like those few rounds, and just go with that flow, and then be like, okay, well, I'm gonna like get to like round like 6 or whatever and be like, this person's not doing it for me, let me throw their name out. But yeah.
So I know I was in room 5. It's just the curse of room 5. It lives on. It's great. But Christian jumped in before we could land on our name in our room. So I jumped to a different room, and I heard Elijah, Dylan, and Joe, but I also witnessed the fight between Cammy and Elijah a little bit. So at that point, I was like, let's keep Elijah because they're going to keep fighting and going at each other. So I was trying to push it to either Joe or Dylan, and then everyone kept saying Joe. So that's where I went with that.
Yeah, my room, I think, was the room that Robin was supposed to be in. I was with Andrew, and I was with Lou, was his name. And we were kind of just all immediately on board with Joe. And not having 4 people meant there was one less person to like get to know and talk to. And it was a lot easier for us to immediately spread out, which is why I was able to jump in so quickly to Bryce.
You came in so fast.
Yeah, that was
like a minute and a half. I was like, I got nothing.
The first round, I just wanted to get into a room and drop a name to get that name going, because the first name that comes out is almost always dead in the water unless that name can pick up an LOS like Kevin did in like a mini a couple of weeks ago. But that was the goal, is to make sure that somebody else's name came out and do multiple rooms.
Yeah, that was, so my plan was that I knew very early on people were either going to play ball with me and like the character, or like immediately they were going to be like, we have to get this guy out of there. So I wanted to get a name out and move as quickly as possible and get into another room so they couldn't say my name. Initially, the first thing I wanted to do as soon as we got unmuted was say my poem, because I felt like emo poetry was needed. So I wrote a little terrible poem. I still have it here, I believe, in case you haven't heard it. Tears in my eyes, I feel alive. Would you be my requester as we play Sequester? So I got that out immediately as soon as the game started. And then I was like, okay, say a name. Let's get out of this room. And that was, especially since we only had 3 people in the room, I was like, well, we're already at a disadvantage. So yeah, the first name said was Joe. I forget who said it. It wasn't me. It might've been you, Christian. But as soon as he said it, I was like, let's go. Let's just spread it.
I didn't hear Joe until after I was pushing Elijah so hard. And then I felt kind of bad, because then I talked to him. I was like, oh, well, shit. Well, I already said your name. So I guess this is what I have to go with.
I was with Cammy in the first room, and she did not like his video. Like, it just, I don't know, the joke or whatever. And so I was like, fine, good, that's a name. And then we went somewhere else, and then someone said a different name, and I was like, I don't care. I was like, oh my God, I was so good at being the first dude. I was just like, oh.
I loved being in that room with Cammy and with Dante, and then we had Alec, and that was great because like seconds in, Cammy was like Elijah. I was like, that's good. Yeah. Like that's the name. That's not me. Whatever. And I just wanted to go.
It was so great.
I just wanted to go like a different room after that, just like plant, and just like I had a name that I could tell people if they asked me, and just like chill. People would come and be like, oh, Joe. People would be like, Dylan. I'd be like, I don't give a shit. Like I'm gonna write Elijah's name down no matter what happens. But y'all do what you're gonna do, and I feel good. So I thought that it worked out well.
I mean, he still stayed, so.
Yeah, so not perfect.
It was like the theme. He just stayed.
All right, so as soon as I saw the cast and I saw that you, Cammy, were on, I immediately, like, my goal was to get us to Final 2. Like, that was really all I wanted, was us 2 to be there. But I also knew, I mean, I could tell just by Elijah's video that, like, it's a TR-made video, right? Like, you can tell just by how it's produced that it was very...
So, okay, he makes very similar style videos to me. I did not make that video for him. I did Skype him while he filmed it, and I kind of directed him a little bit. And when he was filming it, he initially was a little bit more casual, and I said, you should be a little cockier. Like, that kind of does well in a lot of minis. And in this mini, it did not do well.
So it was your fault.
It was. I didn't tell him what to say, but
You were the director.
Well,
That's what you said.
This is a trend now too. It happened in Mallory's first game too. She was a target immediately because of her video. TR.
Hey, listen, I'm a video editor for hire. You are killing my business right now. You are killing me right now. Come on.
Were there like any other videos that like really stood out to people? Like you're watching and you're like, oh, I like this person. Oh, I didn't like them. Like, were you like taking notes on that kind of stuff?
I actually have my notes in front of me.
I mean, the thing that stood out to me, like the thing that shocked me most was Alec was playing, because Alec played with me in the game that I won. And I was like, what are the odds that like two of the same people are like, he's in the game again with me? And it was good because we were allies in that game. And obviously this game, our story arc has completely changed now. But yeah, that was definitely the biggest surprise to me. And also the fact that there were so many people from Brooklyn, I was like, this is great. I'm technically not in Brooklyn anymore. Like my heart is in Brooklyn, born and raised. So I was like, I need to like get the Brooklyn people and be like, let's talk about Brooklyn. And if you can relate to someone in any sort of manner in this game that it's such a quick pace and make them remember you, it helps. So I was like, all right, that might be.
We talked about the bus getting from Crown Heights to
Bushwick, yeah.
I actually didn't realize you weren't in Brooklyn. You moved.
Yeah, I moved. I took off a while ago. Let's try something new, and very happy I did. Honestly.
I felt bad for Joe because I mean, I wasn't trying to get Elijah out, but then he gave me the LOS, so that was nice. The only way, yeah, he did. So the only way I would get LOS in this game is if someone gives it to me and it's a fucking curse.
I didn't know he gave it to
I don't even want to deal with the business anymore. Like I should never have one. That's too much power, too much responsibility for me.
You just blurted out.
I was really excited to see a bunch of returning players because I said in my video like I didn't want to vote them out first. But then I was also really afraid that was going to bite me in the ass because all the new people were like, oh, he's not going to want to vote for anybody. But my goal was to kind of get you guys to support me, and then I could use your shields a little bit. Didn't really work, but it's fine.
I will say though, Bryce, when you got voted out, that was the only time I was like kind of really shocked. I was just like, oh, I guess people put their vote on him. Yeah.
That was Christian's fault. It's fine. Was it you or was it Elijah?
I mean, I can explain it when we get to that round, or I can explain it now if you guys want.
I'm not bitter at all. It was a good move, so.
I mean, honestly, Michael and Elijah were going at each other, and I wanted to kind of take advantage of that and like squash it and kind of bring both of them into into an allegiance with me. And I was trying to like get them both to stop going at each other because I knew them going at each other would kind of I know what happens when games end up with like two people butting heads. Everybody kind of stays away from that, and I wanted to like latch onto that and use them as shields when obviously Elijah and Michael went out back to back, so that didn't work out. But I wanted to try to wriggle my way into being in their good graces because I just wanted to continue having like 3 or 4 names that I knew would be out in the open and that I could continue to push with people.
No, most definitely. Like I said, I'm not bitter at all. I understand it's a game. So it's all good.
Well, so at the end of the first round, after Joe was eliminated, the people he put up as flops were Christian, Lou, Leo, Elijah, Bryce, and Dylan. And this is the round that ended with Dylan being eliminated. Now, I know, again, of course, Elijah was still going around. Dylan wasn't the only name going around, and there were some others as well. So going into this round with these 6 specific targets, where were our heads at now? Because, of course, as the rounds go on, we all make our starting room alliances, but across the 5 rooms, we drift further and further apart, and things kind of get farther away from each other. So where were our heads at in this second round, and who did we want out?
My target was the same.
So.
Yeah.
You were stuck on Elijah, like.
Well, yeah, at this point, I had to because if it was going to be a drag round. The next round, he's going to take me. So I had to take out somebody that I knew could drag me. And I messed up because I didn't want Dylan to go either. But that was the first round that an LOS was after I got mine. That was the one that one was announced, you know? So I was like, fuck, Elijah probably has one. So I threw my vote on Bryce because I thought that Elijah might have, because I thought Elijah might have an LOS. And I was trying to save Dylan. But I just did, I was just trying, I don't know, I was thinking too far ahead or maybe just too hard.
I'm here. Hi.
But I was just trying to save.
Michael, wow.
Elijah, Dylan.
Hi, Elijah.
Hey.
Not,
I look like shit because I just woke up. I apologize. So
I just woke up.
All good.
Going into that round, I was really happy that Elijah and Dylan were both up there because I was like, those were two names that were coming up beforehand. Like it'd be easy to like.
Yeah,
You know,
sorry,
push
Elijah, Dylan. We're talking round 2, the round where Dylan, you were eliminated. Okay. Just to catch up to speed.
Why did Joe put me up?
I didn't want Dylan. Dylan, I didn't want you to go at all, but my like whole strategy was I'm gonna plant myself in like room 1, and it was great because people just kept like circulating in and out of there. So I wasn't gonna like throw out any names to people. They'd be like Dylan's what's happening. I got the sense. I didn't have the care to try to push that, but I did vote for Elijah. I liked to be consistent in case like that round comes up that you can only vote for people you haven't voted before. So I was just gonna vote for like Elijah every time until you were gone.
What was it? What I do, dude?
I understood the move, to be honest. Honestly, that's what I would have done. I mean, Elijah and Cammy were going after each other. There was no reason to keep
I never went after Cammy at all. She was never on my list. As soon as as soon as you were like, oh, we're good, right? I was like, yeah, you're totally on my good graces. There's no reason to go after you. And then after
you reminded me so much though of this guy Craig that played last year and he won. Like your video was like him, you had the charisma like him, and like he just dominated. And I told people in that mini take him out, and they didn't. So I thought you.
I think I said that too. I think the round you probably went out, Elijah. I was telling me, I was like, he's gonna beat us if he stays here.
I didn't even believe that at all.
I did.
Oh,
I was telling him, I was like, he will beat you. I was like, people were like, what? I was like, no, he will beat all of us if we don't get him out now.
No.
This says Cammy.
We vote on so many votes. We're like, just say Elijah, and then we're like gonna do the real vote.
You know what? Sometimes
he never went.
Sometimes your video can be really what does you. Like there is an element of luck to this, and sometimes it's just someone can be like, you know what? I remember I watched the video back, and people were like, oh, let's vote the kid with the bunny. So it's like if you have something that stands out about you, like. That could be what fucks you over.
Honestly, I think I threw your name out first. Well, one of Dylan, and it was kind of like I don't know what it was. I have a list somewhere, but I was like, I just didn't really find, and it goes down to the video thing of like I didn't find it that interesting. So I have like a bunch of people where I was like, yeah, it's kind of. And also, my name was going out, so I was like, Dylan video, not the.
I didn't like my video either.
I mean, I love the bunny. I
love the bunny.
I love the bunny too.
You can't crush on the bunny, you know.
My strategy there was honestly, I pushed Dylan only for the sake of saving Elijah. That I knew Elijah was going to be in danger, and I wanted him to stick around. And obviously, I was on the block, so I had to worry about myself also. So I was just trying to gather everyone on a name that wasn't me or Elijah. And unfortunately, it fell with you. Also, like I knew one of the mistakes that I made over the course of the game when it initially started, I was so like, I have to play this character and I want people to think I'm funny. And the first room I went into, I was like, I'm hearing Joe, and Joe was in the room. And I was like, okay, well, that was a huge mistake to start off right off the bat. And I didn't want to play, because every game I play, I'm always an immediate target. I'm always running for my life, like the entire game. And I was like, I really don't want that to be the case this time. But being nominated in the second round, I was like, uh-oh, this is going to happen again. Thankfully, my name kind of got off since it got no traction in the second round. But I knew I needed to push hard since I would have been an easy boot in the second round. So
yeah. Well, if I would have known who you were, like, I knew this girl, Rachel, in our room. Like, I had watched one of the streams, and I was like, I remember she made top 4, top 3. I had made top 3 the last mini I played. So I wanted to work with the people that had played before that had made it really deep. So, like, if I had known that you, like, had won before, I would have wanted to work with you. 100%. Because they always target the veterans first.
Yeah. It's so hard in those early rounds. It's like, I mean, we had a cast that had a decent amount of returning players last night, more so than usual, I would say. But just like creating those bonds in such a short amount of time is so difficult.
Yeah, and the
Sam,
early
didn't you play before too?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you. Please.
Okay. I mean, for me, as like I went out so early in my previous game, and
Christian,
I know that everybody is targeting returners, and I can't know who's going to be in this game, whether it's going to be a lot of people or a few amount of people who've returned. So I was just looking for like excuses, whether it was like faulty internet connection, which is what I know Dylan was maybe not dealing with, but just some computer related issues. I know. I mean, Joe was kind of an easy target because he was like the most boring video that we saw. But I was just looking for reasons that were kind of like not related to game in those early few rounds. It was more of just like entertainment related kind of stuff because I didn't want any traction to start to build on any kind of returner narrative. I wanted the game to get started before like people were left to their own devices and thinking, okay, we know this person or this person returned. Let's get together and just decide to vote them out because there's no other reason because it's so early in the game.
I would have done that if I knew I could do that.
Now I can hear you. I had to leave. I couldn't hear what you were saying. I was like, what?
Sorry.
You're okay. Yeah.
I know. I'm glad no one really focused on the whole returning thing.
Robin, we wish you could have played with everyone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hi Robin.
Robin.
I had stars by your name.
Same.
I wanted to be your friend. But no, I think, and I think Dante was touching a little bit, I guess, like on the pre-gaming, like returning type of issue, which I don't really understand because I'm in the realm of players. Like when I played, you didn't know anybody, you couldn't talk to anybody, and that's when we played for a week. So like you couldn't, even though you would know, you could find them, whatever, like you couldn't have communication. So when people use a strategy of like returning players or so-and-so are friends or whatever, but I'm like, at the end of the day, like in this community, like somebody's bound to know somebody, and I mean, you could use that to your advantage or whatever, but also on the flip side of that, it's like, I didn't know a lot of these people are returners. Like, you know, I don't know who the returners are because I don't watch every many. So I know it's easier for y'all to be friends and stuff like that. So I kind of feel like if somebody like me, which like everybody knows me without me not saying like that, but you know me, and I don't really, I'm not really familiar with every. You know what I mean? I'm not familiar with everybody, so it's kind of hard when I already feel like that things are stacked up against me in that sense. But also, I don't know. It's like it's a double-edged sword. So and because there's not really rules about it, are there? Like.
No, back in the day, I remember there used to be a rule where, like, if you message someone outside of it, like, you get kicked out the game, or like you get like a penalty, and like people.
I didn't even know you could tell. Yeah, I didn't even know I could tell people I was playing. Like, I didn't know if you could tell you, like, can you tell friends that you're playing? Or okay,
well,
so
that's what I was worried about.
I didn't tell anybody.
Yeah,
well,
me neither.
Christian was playing because Kevin tweeted that you were
the
playing.
picks at
Yeah,
I almost put it to your DMs. Like, I'm not going to do it.
I did not want that to happen, and I DM'd him. I was like, "Hey, please delete this."
When I saw that, I was like, "Fuck!" I would be so annoyed if I were you.
No, yeah, I went back last night and watched the commentary stream, and that was something you mentioned earlier, and I was just like, Kevin, why did you do that? I'm in a group chat with you. You didn't run it by me. Why would you do this, buddy? And I mean, it ended up working out in my favor, I guess, if you want to argue that me getting to final two, like, if you want to say that helped me, it helped me. And I mean, I never asked for it, but I guess, you know.
I mean, I immediately saw that Kevin tweet and I fucking DM'd Christian. Like, I immediately did it, and then I saw that he switched it later, and I was just like, hey, are you playing tonight? And I was like, we played together, and Christian was like, we did? I was like, yeah.
I went out so early. I didn't know. I didn't meet anybody on my cast. And so, like, late in our game, Lou was like, they're working together. They were in the same game. And I was like, I met Sam an hour ago. So I am sorry. I know of Sam, but I had no idea in my game.
Well, I can't even hate on y'all too much. I was hating a little bit last night when I found out about that, but there was a mini a year ago where Sam, who had played with Cammy, and my friend DeMonica were in a mini together, and I found out they were both playing. I wasn't playing, and I literally made an alliance between the two of them to make sure they wouldn't take each other out, and they like made it all the way to like the top 5. So I can't really hate on y'all too much.
It just comes with the territory, I think. Like I said, like there's like out of everybody that watches, maybe a little small percentage even applies, and even a smaller percentage gets to play. So I mean, other people that return, you know, I think that that's just the odds are just you're gonna know somebody. But it also does suck because I think the last minute when I played last week, people were talking about me and Ty playing together. I don't know. I just think it's different for people that have played like live, being on the same cast as opposed to friends. And I mean, I kind of don't get that, but I also do get it. You know what I mean?
Well, people were gunning after Jake hardcore. There wasn't even any other person from the live mini in like our mini, and people just wanted him out. So I feel like people that played the live version have it so much harder. It's like
and a lot of us don't want to. And I mean, not speaking for everyone, but I know some people I talk to, like, I mean, even me, I was really reluctant to like, because on the flip side, you'll see like Mary Payton and Cameron and Kim who can do well, you know, and they kind of like, I haven't watched their game, so I don't know, but I know that like people that knowing them helps a lot. But then I've seen people like the Drews play, or like Jay West's computer is messed up or something like that, or like Braden's play, and it's like those things are held against you. So it is kind of hard to try to maneuver that, which is also
a bias.
Another level of gameplay.
There is a bias against certain people, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day. But it's like when those little things, it's hard. When you have to play around things like that too. But I mean, it helps me be a better player. I think. I mean, just every time you play, you should get better. I would hope you get better.
Pre-gaming to me in like one of these minis
different. You can never have a set strategy for this game because it's always different. Like you can't predict anything.
Yeah. Pre-gaming to me in this, like in a game like this, was so foreign to me, and maybe that's a bit naive, but like for Winners at War, like pre-gaming like became a full-time job. Like I was talking like a legit for a week and a half leading up. Like there were just Skype calls all day long from people and like just non-stop messages. And I was like, I was exhausted by the end. And for this, maybe because I only like am on Twitter and I don't really do the Discord or the Facebook or anything, I didn't think there was any way you could really know that someone was playing. I knew Christian was playing because of the Kevin tweet. But aside from that, like I was going this completely blind. And when getting in there, I didn't think that there was any way that anybody else knew who was playing, and that was my own naivete because people clearly did, and I was kind of out of the loop.
Like I said, like that's a foreign concept to me because, like I said, every time I played, I even played a second chances on the online version, and these are people that I've known, and we still couldn't pregame. So that, I mean, like I guess it's just a different way of playing or whatever. But I think I've said before, like if you feel like you have to pregame to play, then I feel like you're not as confident as in your own game. You know what I mean? As like if I have to like conspire with somebody as opposed to let it work organically. And I think like if you get to the end, that could be, you know, something that's brought up against you as well. It's like, you know, but you relied on a tie this whole time. You know what I mean? Like everyone's not gonna, like, you know, you have a ride or die. When most people have to develop a ride or die in the span of, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes. And while you're trying to figure out a vote too, I'm like, wait, I like your shirt. Okay, you are funny. Okay, you want to be friends? You hold on for dear life.
That's what I was like. I was excited to play a regular mini just because I felt like the pre-gaming in the last game I played for Winners at War was what destroyed my game. Like I did it so terribly that I was a target immediately from the jump. Whereas here I was like, okay, even though people may know who I am, I get like a kind of a clean slate and I can play a game with people who are unconnected, which for the most part was true, even though, you know, when we got down to 4, it wasn't really true. But yeah, I enjoyed this experience more, I will say that.
Well, at the end of the second round, this was where Dylan, you were eliminated. Dylan, thank you for coming on the show. I know it was brief, but I appreciate you taking the time to join us. I don't know if you're alive in that frozen box there. I certainly hope so. Oh wait, I think this is him trying to come back in. Hold on. Okay. Let's talk about Dylan. Dylan's Twitter. Go follow Dylan. Yeah. So thanks a lot, Dylan. I don't know if he's gone or what, but Dylan, we're passing you around, bud. I'm so sorry. It was great seeing you while we could, and give Dylan a follow and tell him that you missed him getting a proper goodbye. Go send him that. All right, moving on. Round 3. In round 3, this was the safety roulette round. Here he is. Dylan. Hey, Dylan, we were just giving you your goodbye.
Oh,
Dylan, do you have any final thoughts on the game? Yes.
It's better that I'm leaving now because my computer is being so crazy. Okay. All I can say is, I'm happy. You know what? I'm okay with going out early. I did good the first time. It's better that other people played this time. I thought everyone did great. Even if there was pre-gaming. Cammy, thank you so much for being loyal. You've always been a loyal person. I've known you for years. You're such a great person, and much love to you. Sam, I'm glad that you won.
Thank you.
Even though we couldn't talk in that first room because of my fucking microphone, but I'm really happy that you won. Room 3? Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, bye. I'm gonna go.
Bye.
Thank you, Dylan. All right, now round 3. This was the safety roulette round. All the players are given 60 seconds to move around or stay in their room, and at the end of it, a wheel will be spun with all the room numbers on it until one room is left, and all of the occupants of that room are the flops for that round up for elimination. And the flops this round were Dante, Leo, Caitlin, and Andrew, who ended up being the one that we eliminated here. So out of those 4 people, was Andrew the clear target from the beginning? Was he the person we wanted, or did we have our sights on Dante? Maybe Leo? Maybe a whisper of Caitlin going around? I don't know. You tell me.
My room started off as Leo, but we had like me and Leo were like in our first room together. So I was like, hey, you got to protect that man. And then I think I just said Andrew because, again, I just have like thumbs down by people's names because I didn't enjoy their video. I know, right? And I was finally safe for one. So I was like, you know, we're going to go gun after someone. And then I just ended up being, and I didn't talk to Andrew at all. So I was like, hey guys, what about Andrew? So
Andrew was playing hard as hell. Like, I feel like I think I saw him sweating at one point. Like, the way you would have thought he was running in and out of these rooms. Like, he was like, okay, so what are we doing? Is this okay? I was like, yeah. Like, and I play hard. I was like, you can't play harder than me.
I didn't see him actually.
I mean, I thought he was on a trip, and he was like, yeah. He was like,
you could tell he very much had like everyone written down and something he could say to each one of them. He came in, he was like, you got like the same name as my like sister or something. I was like, oh shit, okay. You're like, ready with that. Yeah, he was going like hard.
I liked him. I hated landing in that room. I was literally like, I should have just, well, my strategy for the roulette was I was trying to find Elijah, so I would have like someone bigger than me, so I could just be Elijah, not me. And then I landed in the room, and I liked everybody, and we were just kind of like, "Fuck."
When I heard the names in that room, I had like spoken a bit to like everybody. If it had come, like I probably would have like gone for Dante if it was getting spread. I'm so sorry. But like it started. The name I heard at the start was like Leo, and then it came down between Andrew and Caitlin, and I was like, I like both of them. I like Caitlin more. Andrew, you gotta go.
I tried to work with Andrew, so I was like, all right, if it's not me and it's not Andrew, then it's Caitlin. And I mentioned that, and then they're like, no, it's too soon for a girl. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, it is. So then I was just like, all right, it's me, it's one of the guys. Then I was like, him.
Yeah, I shut down.
Kid and
yeah, I shut down Caitlin. I think this is the first time me and you, Dante, actually started talking, and I realized pretty quickly that I really liked you and wanted to work with you. So I was trying to get like the target, make sure it wasn't you. And I think you mentioned Caitlin. And I was like, I don't think that's a smart move, just because people are not, there's not going to be as much traction for a woman to go right now, just because there's so few that we probably should put it on someone else. And there were limited options. Me and Christian started in a room with Andrew. So like, you usually want to like room thing, but I didn't really feel much allegiance to him, to be quite honest. And also he wasn't dressed very emo-ly. So
that was the reason I was given.
Everyone was
landed on that. That was the reason. We were like, he's not emo enough.
Yeah.
Done.
that was the reason that I went. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I didn't see him though until the
so fast.
Go ahead, Dante.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying it's so fast. You just have to go like, I don't know. It was hard to have a plan.
Yeah, seriously.
I was just gonna say I didn't see him until the very end. I think Cammy and Goldie and I were in a room, and then he popped in and was like, "Go Caitlyn, go Caitlyn." We're like, "All right," and then he's like, "We're not gonna do that. We don't want to vote Caitlyn." And then he popped back in. It was fine.
I remembered from his video, he was like, I played baseball and I was in the spring musical, and I was like, Troy Bolton vibes. And
yeah,
I met him the first time, and I said, oh my God, it's Troy Bolton. And he was like, who is that? My name's Andrew. And I was like, oh man.
He's got to go.
You gotta go now.
You know High School Musical? Get
I
out.
won't take the High School Musical slander in this household.
What time is it? It's time to go.
Joining us right now for their insight on the safety roulette round in which Andrew was eliminated, we have Ethan joining us. Let's bring Ethan.
Oh, Ethan. Oh yeah.
Hi guys.
Hey, Ethan.
Hello, Ethan.
Hey.
Robbed King.
Oh, thanks. With Andrew, yeah, he kept on running around being like, Philly, you went to Lower Marion, Kobe Bryant, work with me. I was like, okay, sure, like, yeah, we can work together. But then,
Why are you saying all these words to me?
yeah, and it was like really scary. I was like, oh my God, this old man. But it was, but then it was long gone. Like I felt like I couldn't. I'm not gonna save him. I didn't really know him that well. So
I don't even remember what
he didn't have the traction to save.
I don't remember who he was trying to say, but I was just like, I'm not doing that.
It was just Caitlyn. He was pushing Caitlyn.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, I'm not doing that.
No, we were both done after. Like, no,
not in this house. I don't think so.
I started it with Caitlyn, so I wanted to keep her around.
I didn't see how like hard he was playing like everybody else. I liked him. I would have been happy keeping him, but like those are like really bad options for like me.
Mm-hmm.
And like in terms of like you have to pick one of them. So the one that got like Andrew had traction. I was like, it's what got to get done. He didn't dress emo.
Mm-hmm.
He was like a very like chaotic player, and I'm chaotic, and that's just somebody I know we're not gonna be able to work together. Because I know how I am when I play, and sometimes when somebody tells me something, like I don't want to do that, so I'll just switch it and on everybody. You know what I mean? I just feel like I could work with Caitlyn a lot more.
Yeah,
I didn't get to talk to her at all, so I was just like, yeah, she's a woman. Let's not get her out now.
Yeah, Andrew went to bat really hard for Lou and I in the round we were both nommed, like right before. But the way he went about it, it was like we were in the same room, so I can't go for you yet. And it was like, thank you.
Thank you.
Ooh, that's kind of sketching me out. Like in late to mid game, you're like, I don't want to have to contend with that.
Yeah. I wish I knew that though, because I feel kind of bad now. If I knew he was fighting, I never saw him after that starting room. I never saw him in a room again, and I didn't know he was fighting for me that hard. In which case, if I knew that, I definitely would have.
Yeah, he was fighting.
Tried to keep him
really
there.
hard, but also the talk of him not being dressed for the part. And the fact that he kind of implied that it was like, I'm going to keep you safe for a couple more rounds. It was a lot easier for me to just say, I don't know if I can use you in the next round. So I got to let you go.
I heard something at the very end of that round, and I forget who said it, but they were like, Andrew said he was in a starting room with this person, and this person.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's not true because I was in a starting room with him. So whoever, if he's saying that, that's a lie. And that's what kind of sketched me out and kind of was the final decision for me. Yeah.
Well, after Andrew's elimination, that moved us into round 4, the highest amount of even numbered votes. And, ooh, yikes. Wow. Bryce, buddy, this is where you got the boot. Let's talk about that. Did you know that you were the target that round?
I had no idea. And I was pissed because I had an LOS. I got it the round before. And I even knew, I went into this game and I knew that even when you always vote for yourself, even if you haven't heard your name, fuck it, just vote for yourself just in case. And I didn't. And I even tried to get Cammy, and it was Goldie who I did vote with, and Cammy and somebody else was like, let's do something. And then Cammy and whoever else it was were like, no, we're going to vote Elijah. He's got all the votes. And of course that went odd, or it wasn't even a thing. I don't know. But looking back, like, I was just mad at myself. I had no idea.
I threw your name out, to be honest.
I mean, I knew you threw my name out around before too.
I don't think I threw your name out around before.
It was 2 rounds when we were both up. I think you told me you did at one point.
Oh, I think probably. I don't. My memory is like
it was just the 6 of us.
Yeah, I don't know. It was between. I think it was like Lou. Who was up this round?
This was the even round. So it was.
Oh yeah. We were going. My name. I didn't even hear my name. Actually, no, I did hear my name, and I was like, let's not go for this guy, huh? Let's not do that. So I said, I just like picked a random name that nobody would like really think of, and I was like, Bryce. If I would have picked Cammy if I knew she was gunning after me that hard.
I voted for Mike.
I know, no, but you were gunning after me the whole time.
Remember after I was in the room with you, I said I didn't care.
And then you said, and then I heard you were gunning after me the whole time, baby.
Oh wait, no, actually, no. Actually, I did have to though. I did have to at that point because I knew you were gonna drag me if there was a drag round.
And I would have never dragged you, but it's all right. I was gonna drag. I think the only person at the time was Michael if I got out, just because we were so like button heads. But besides that, I wasn't gonna drag it.
Where that even came? Like I thought I was like I was just sitting in my room doing nothing, making minding my own damn business, and then all of a sudden I hear, oh, Elijah's throwing him. I'm like, what the fuck? Why? I'm like, where'd that come from? I knew that like Elijah wasn't gonna go nowhere in like a round like this, so I just needed like to get a group of people to agree on a name, and I hadn't heard Bryce at all. I knew that it wasn't gonna be Elijah. We had like 4 people. We said we were gonna vote for Ethan. I don't know if like I did. I don't know if everybody else did. But when I heard like Bryce's name, I was like, what the fuck? It wasn't me, but I was like. And I threw Ethan's name out there because I heard my name was coming up. And so like I had to pick one name like right off the bat. So I just like looked at my notes and somebody whose like name I had heard in a prior round that maybe we could get some traction. So I just like had to throw something out quick. I was like, Ethan? Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's good. I was in that room with Elijah and it was like a last minute plan. And then I knew going into that round, normally it's like a last minute group of 4, group of 6 just kind of swoops in and breaks up all these random other plans. And sorry, Bryce, kind of just.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a game. I'm bitter at myself more than anything.
I'm surprised it worked, to be honest. I thought like 2 of the people weren't going to vote for you. So it was literally only 2 people that voted for you.
It was 4.
Was there 4? Then there was 2 people outside of our group that also voted for you.
I'm still so.
Was it Nadeem? Because I followed him into 2 rooms, and he like looked me right in the eyes and said,
I think Lou was saying it was Lou and Christian.
I voted for Bryce also, so that was 3.
Oh wait, no, I lied.
So it was Elijah, Ethan, Christian, and Lou.
1, 2, 3. 4.
Yeah, I think it was that room.
It was me.
Okay.
I felt
I thought it was Nadeem all night because he told me flat out, stared me in the eyes like, no one's voting for you. It's not you. And I was like, what the fuck? So sorry that I was really mean to you in my mind, Nadeem. My bad.
Yeah, I think that round ended with Elijah and Michael in my room, and I remember I voted Bryce because I wanted them both to stay until the next round so that I could tell them that like I was responsible for Bryce leaving, and I also wanted them to both stop going at each other because I felt if I could be the person responsible for them not feeling targeted by each other, that they would both trust me a little bit more.
Yeah, I voted Michael this round. I was never going to vote Bryce.
Yeah, not Lou.
Yeah, I would have never voted Bryce just because of the Podquester Mini thing. I actually just realized right now, Bryce, who you are on Twitter. And I was like, oh, okay, I've interacted with you a lot.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I would have never voted you there. I was just trying to arrange 4s and 2s on anybody that I possibly could. So I arranged, like in the first room that I was in, I was like, all 4 of us need to vote for one person. In the next room, I tried to get 4 on another person. Then I just tried to get separate 2s on multiple different people. But none of them were you. So.
There's only like 3 strategies you can use during this round. Like there's and it's so sticky, and it's like if you have to really, this is a really like I have to trust who I'm working with, because like you could either do like Bryce or like how Bryce said he should have done is vote for yourself, or you can on the flip side when I played and I got Chris out, it was like okay, so I can count on this person voting for themselves, so now I just have to get 3 other people to vote. Because 4 is all you're gonna need. That's all. That's probably the most there's gonna be. I would love to see a round where this round works, where there's like 6 or 8 votes from somebody, because it just gets, you could control 4.
I don't think that could ever happen.
Yeah, if you could control 4, but anything above that is just so crazy to try to do, especially in this setting. But or like I said, you could do that, or you could do like Louis was saying and try to do 4s and 2s, and maybe try to force a wheel or maybe force a tie between these people, but you try to control who those people are. But like I said, like it's hard to do, and the fact that Louis was trying to do that, like successfully did that, because I voted for Mike, and I don't even know if I talked to you about that. I think I just threw it on somebody. I don't know, even when it's not a drag round, I have such PTSD from it. Like I'm just convinced that like every round's a drag round, or it's gonna be like a surprise drag round or something like that. I'm like, fuck. But
I actually thought, Cammy, in one instance, I forget where it was, we were in a room together and dancing. And I was like, oh, this ended so badly for her last time in the drag.
I thought,
and I was like, I will never do that.
Rooms with her.
Yeah.
And she was gonna come get Draco, and I was gonna be that again. I was
Draco.
Yeah,
Draco.
This round is also scary
actual name
when it happens. Like so early in the game, any 2 people can get together and throw. I remember watching Amon go out when Kirsten, and I can't remember who she voted with, but they threw votes on Amon, and he went, and he was blindsided, LOS in his pocket, and so I was sketched that there'd be 2 random people I hadn't gotten a chance to interact with yet. Say I've never interacted with Chris. Let's go 2 on Chris, and then a 5 happens, a 3 happens, a 7 happens, or something, and then I go. So early in the game, getting those 4, I feel like people are a lot more comfortable, like just committing to a 4 rather than like 12 people left, 11 people left. You can't be confident that you're safe unless you get those 4 down. So
Right.
it was way easier to just like lock in on. I didn't realize, I guess, that the 2 people I thought were going to vote Bryce didn't vote Bryce, but I still wanted to like get that maybe less talked about name out there, just in the off chance that there would be like multiple ties of 2 or something like that.
No, most definitely. So it was fun. I had a blast. So
well, Bryce, I appreciate you taking the time to come on the show, and I know you said you're going to play again sometime soon. So I can't wait for it, so I can root you on. I can finally put a face to the Twitter name and the person who's been in the chat all this time. So thank you for your support. Thank you for playing. Thank you for coming on. Any final thoughts?
No, I just had a blast. Everyone remember Breonna Taylor. It's been 92 days since she was murdered in her home. So do not forget her name, because she doesn't deserve that. But thank you so much for having me on, and hopefully I'll be back on after I win a game. That's the goal.
There you go. Good goal, Bryce. Thank you.
All right, bye, guys.
Take care. All right. Well, after Bryce's elimination round, we moved into Elijah, your elimination round. This was the first part of the now or later twist. So this twist, the players are instructed over the course of 2 rounds, they can either vote now or later, but they can't vote. They can't vote both. And between the rounds, Audrey would announce how many people voted, not exactly the names, just how many. And this first round, we had 7 people vote, which resulted in those 7 votes. There was a tie between you and who was the other person?
Michael.
It was Michael. That's right, Michael. And you were the one eliminated, Elijah. So were there any other names being floated around, or was it pretty much just Michael and Elijah this round?
Yeah, Rachel. I threw my vote in this round, but I was hearing Rachel, and again, my goal in this early part of the game was to keep Michael and Elijah around, to just kind of continue to keep these 2 names out in the open. Rachel was picking up a little traction, and I thought maybe I could get Elijah and Michael to both kind of push that name. And whether they voted or not, I just wanted them both to feel a little bit more trust in me. If it ended up being pulled off, and then the tie came down and it was both of them, and I had voted Rachel, So I knew I was going to have to basically choose between one of them. And I ended up voting Michael, and Elijah went. So
yeah, I was shocked. I didn't like every room I was going into was either like Michael or Rachel, and then at last minute I had an LOS as well. It was
Wow.
It was crazy. Yeah. So I would have used it if I knew my name was floating around, but I had no idea.
Starting with this round, like as soon as we unmuted, like Christian like went out and he was like, "Oh, Michael, like Elijah like went to save you, like busted his ass to save you," and I was like, "Okay, like fine, I don't need to have beef with Elijah. Like let's lock a name down now, and we can do whatever." And we started on like Rachel, which I didn't love. Like I really liked Rachel. I was like vibing with Rachel, but that was the only name that people would say, so I was like spreading that out a bit, and then it came back to me again, like my name was going around again, and I was like, "Fuck that shit! I'm not having none of this." I think I was in a room with Caitlin and Cammy, and we were like, Elijah's time is now. Elijah's time. He has to go now. So then I started running. I was trying to find people. I ended up in a room with Rachel, and I was like, "Rachel, I've heard you. I've heard me. Fuck that shit. We're voting Elijah." And so I don't know. I voted for Elijah. I don't know who the other two ended up being, but. And then, like, as soon as the tie came in, I was like, I was like going from room to room, like every single chance I could. I was like, Elijah, the punk ass, gotta go.
I remember that.
Elijah, I like didn't run into you once during all of that, which I was like,
it was wild.
This is good luck for me. But I was like, as soon as I heard my name come up once in the even round, like I just like tanked. I panicked. I was like, defense, hardcore defense, and it backfired.
I got in trouble with Lou because I said I was gonna vote and then I didn't, and then the next round I was like, "Oh, I have a vote," and he was like, "Wait, bitch, you."
Okay, so this was actually one of the moves I guess I'm most proud of, even if it didn't work. And so I voted Michael mainly. It had nothing to do with Michael. I was just trying to save Elijah as best I could every round. And we had made a room like we had like 2 of us are voting this round, 2 of us are voting next round. And I was sitting there and I was supposed to vote next round, and I saw Dante didn't move. Like he never typed, he was just sitting there. And I was like, "You're supposed to vote. You're supposed to vote." And I've never, in all of these times I've done this, I've never voted in the first round. I always save my vote for the second round, but I was like, Elijah's gonna go. If he doesn't vote, Elijah's gonna go. So I voted Michael, and it saved him for 2 minutes because it resulted in a tie, even though he ended up getting voted out anyway. But
you called me out and said, if I didn't switch because Dante lied, you would have gone Elijah. And
well, so I lost trust in you there, Dante. Like you were.
Bad. I was like, I literally, it was nothing about Elijah. I just chickened out.
A legend.
Yeah,
this was the round when I started hearing my name and Rachel's name, and then we were like, "Okay, well, we just need to start spreading Elijah and Michael." But then I don't know if we're jumping to the second vote yet, but then when
that's what I was mad about, because I was like,
I joined in on that plan
vote because I was caught off guard by that, and like then I was like, okay, now I have to like start like fucking like doing shit. And with that, I was like so over hearing Michael's name. I was over it, and then that I was hearing like Rachel and Ethan, and they were. I was just like, come on, like, can we do anything else? And I wanted to save my vote, and I remember like Cammy, I think like we talked a lot that round, and you were just like Elijah, and I was like, oh my god, yeah, like totally, like I'm fine, I'm ready to get him out, like I'm over this whole thing. I didn't even know in the beginning that there was like a feud between you guys. I heard like someone say like Cammy, Elijah, and I wrote like heart ? Like
yeah, we're dating now.
Yeah. I didn't know if it was like an alliance or like what, and so I was just like, okay, I just like have to get over with this. And so I told you, Cammy, I was gonna vote Elijah, and I didn't. And then it was after that round, and you were like, did you vote? And I was like, yep. And then I left that room. I was like, I just lied to Cammy.
Which is fine. But the thing is, with the now or later round, I know that everyone's going to save their vote for later. But the crazy thing is, like, you can really get your target out with, if there's only 4 of us voting, it's best to vote first because you know that everyone's going to vote later. You know what I mean? So it's I don't know, like that's just the way I look at that strategy. I mean, it could work. I mean, it could work on the flip side too. But I was like, this is too easy of a time because I was like, you know that everyone's just gonna save this vote for whatever reason when you can just get out a fucking sleeper right now or get out anybody. Just like throw a random thing and try to blame it on somebody. Like if Elijah, if I wasn't able to vote for him, I probably would just try to vote somebody else random out and just throw it on, and then like just throw that on someone else.
Yeah.
Also, joining us now into the rotation to offer their insight on the first part of the Now or Later twist, we have Reno. Let's bring Reno in.
Sorry for calling you Rhino, dude.
Hi, Reno.
It's all good. Hey, everyone. Congratulations, Sam. Again.
Thank you.
So we're on the first part of the Now or Later?
Yeah.
My up until that point, it was Michael and Rachel. Those were the two that I was hearing the most. Elijah was kind of on the bottom of that. I'm sorry, but I still didn't really trust you, Elijah.
100%.
So
fair. I called you Rhino, so why would you?
Oh no, because of that. So like this is when things started to kind of go into high gear, but I guess we'll get to that in the second part, especially with your game, Sam. But I just kept it. I think I voted Rachel that round. Yeah. That's how it went for me.
Well, Elijah, this was where you went. Do you have any final thoughts, my friend?
Not really. I was like, I really didn't expect it because everybody I heard was either Rachel or Michael. So I was like, finally, one round, nobody's gunning for me. I feel good. And then
And as you said, you had an LOS.
And I had an LOS. Yeah, I could have used it. And if I knew my name was being tossed around, I would have used it.
It's tough. It's rough. That's tough stuff, man. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah.
Do we know how the 7 votes fell? Because I went Rachel, and do we know like what happened?
We don't have the voting chart, so it would only be whoever speaks up. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I did Rachel that round. Yeah.
I didn't do anyone. I would have voted for Michael if I knew.
Oh wait, no, I didn't do that. No, right. I'm sorry. This is the Now or Later. I'm sorry, I didn't vote. That's what it was.
If you did Rachel, I would guess maybe there could have been a 3-3. I don't know, like 3-3-1. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Elijah, I don't know. Do you plan on playing a mini at any point in the future?
Yeah, do it.
Of course.
Yeah,
I would love to not, get my rug pulled out from the beginning, which it probably might still. I feel like I have that reputation now. Get him out as early as possible. He's going to go far. That kid, he's going to go far.
Me and Cammy, no, but I don't know if I was in a room with Cammy, but like we had said that, you know what, Elijah's name keeps getting thrown out and he keeps like dodging the bullet. And we're like, this is the type of guy that's going to get to final 2. He has that leg to stand on. I know I said that to someone, but I don't know who it was.
I was saying that same thing too. So I think it might've been us and somebody else in the room. Yeah. Or something like that, but I was like, he's going to beat us.
I didn't believe that one bit, but thank you. I appreciate the confidence. Oh God! Yeah.
Well, it was fun rooting you on, and I'm sorry that I led you so astray with directing you in your video. I feel like I really screwed you. I feel I'm so full of guilt, Elijah.
You should be. I'm blaming this all on TR, not at all. I didn't do anything. I just said words.
It is his fault. It is his fault.
Yeah.
He was the director.
Yeah, come on, dude. You should have said I would have been outed for being a racist immediately.
Hey, I didn't get the joke that way either. It went over my head that way too. I feel dumb as you.
Okay, but what was this joke? It
was just like he said he didn't feel safe in America. And I wasn't like, I didn't say he was racist or anything like that. I just wanted to know what that meant.
I just assumed it was because I just assumed as that's if you took offense to it, I was like, fuck, she thinks I'm a racist. God damn it.
No, I didn't say it to anybody or whatever. I was just like, wow, I really like to know what that means. I was like,
wait, are you Canadian, Elijah?
No, I live in Los Angeles and I came up here for work.
See, I probably would have said that I probably wouldn't want to be an American, but that's just with all the stuff that's going on there right now with Trump and. Oh,
I just left because coronavirus. It was crazy. It was scary.
Yeah.
I wish I was in LA doing the protest. Dang, man. There's not a lot out here. Also, I wouldn't because I'm really scared of catching coronavirus. I'm big. So
Yeah,
I would have
Like,
been
I'm
the
just
one
scared.
who was like really, really far behind with one. I had my mask on, gloves, in a hazmat suit with Black Lives Matter picket, as far away from everybody as I could be.
Well, Elijah, it seems, I think some people thought you were a fun underdog. The people that didn't hate your, intro video joke in the audience, they thought you were fun. So, hopefully we can strip out that from the intro video and just have fun with you next time. That'd be great. Wouldn't that be swell?
That would be so fun. I think I'm just gonna dress all in like beige and just sit in a white room and just, super neutral, as neutral as I can be. I'm Elijah. I lied. I am not 23. I'm 24. But yeah, next time, no jokes.
You're a mastermind.
Straight coming for you.
I told you, I was like, if you try to make bits jokes first time that people don't know you, like I tried to do that my first time playing, and it was not good. Well, thank you, Elijah. We'll see you in the next time playing. We'll see you on the next episode then afterwards. And thanks for coming
again.
on.
Shout out to Sam for winning. We didn't talk at all, but big time shout out.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I think this is a Nixon thing. I got to stop doing this. I feel like this is like a bad karma.
Peace signs.
Just stick to one.
Always good. Peace signs are always good.
Just
good.
Just one. All right.
All right. Well, bye, Elijah. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
All right. So after Elijah's elimination round, this brought us to Michael, your elimination round. Oh no, don't cry, Michael. No, please, Michael, stop. Okay. Now I know that because you were the tie in the round before, it was probably an easy vote to give you the boot this time around. Was that, largely where everyone was leaning, was like, well, he was the tie, let's just get him out? Or was there like any other kind of strategy that tried to happen, underneath that just never came into fruition? What was going on here?
I'll say this. So this was kind of where I saw Sam kicking into high gear, because I think this was the first round where Sam initially threw Nadim's name out, because I was in the room and she's like, okay, like I had asked her, my whole thing was I never wanted to be the first person to throw anyone's name out. Like I always wanted to hear it from other people. And so I was happy when she was like, I'm just going to throw Nadim's name out. And so I'm thinking in my head, okay, so we already have Michael. It does not make sense to go after Nadim now. Let them kind of go at each other. So that was my whole thought process. It was partly the fact of Michael's name being out there previously, and then also having Sam and Nadim going after each other for future. So that was my thought process behind it.
Yeah, I mean, this was the round where I was like, I have to throw someone out. I know I knew Nadim like wasn't going to go this round. I was like overvoting for Michael. I really was. I figured everyone else can do it, and I'm just going to throw Nadim out and see what happens so we can at least gain traction. And the other half of me was just like freaking out. It was also like a quick round. I feel like a lot of them were really quick, and I was like a little thankful for that, because I was like, in my head, I was like, I can't have Cammy know that I actually didn't vote. I was like so worried she was going to find out from someone somehow and then come back and be like, so you didn't vote?
I would have. Like, what?
I just want to, you guys can keep talking, but I didn't want to plug this before because I thought he didn't want me to plug it, but you all were giving me shit in the private chat for not plugging it, and then he texted me shit. So here's Elijah's socials if you want to follow him, but please continue.
I had the worst sinking feeling in my stomach the whole round. Like nobody would tell me, like I would go in every room and I'd be like, all right, like I don't want to go home. I knew I was a threat. Like I'm willing to like go spread whatever you want. And nobody would like give me anything. And I was like, I am fucked. I felt like I couldn't get like a leg to stand on at all this round at all. It wasn't great.
I was jumping back and forth between room 4 and 5, and I was trying to not be Michael because I knew it went Michael and then me or Rachel. So I was so excited when Sam threw out a name, and I was like, perfect. And then I jumped back, and it was too late and didn't have.
Because I think it was like you, me, and Rachel, and
we were like,
3. You guys were freaking out, and I was just like, us 3, like, let's just do it. And then I had jumped to another room. Whoever I was like in the last room with, I think it was like maybe like Dante and Leo. And it was like the round was ending, and I was just like, vote the team, and they were like, what? And I was like,
oh yeah. I was like, wait, seriously?
Yeah.
Just scream that before they mute us.
Yeah. I was like, they do it great. If they don't, whatever.
I tried my plan was going into round 1 was to get 2 names out there. Like in the Survivor Mini, I've tried to follow that since. Karishma did it so beautifully in the fact that she put out 2 names as soon as the first round started and said, this is who we're voting round 1, this is who we're voting round 2. And she spread that to everyone so everybody knew the plan and you get that name out there. So my plan was Michael round 1, Rachel round 2. And I expected to vote in round 2, but because I ended up voting round 1 to try to save Elijah, I didn't have a vote. So I was just trying to, push anyone that wasn't me in round 2. And, at first I was going to say I didn't vote and I still had a vote, but it was very clear because I confronted Dante on that everybody knew I voted. So I was just trying to make sure it wasn't me. Yeah.
It was so scary. I had a little confrontation moment on a TV show.
Was there a twist in this round?
No, it was just the second
It was
part.
just the
Oh,
second
It was
part.
just the leader.
This is the round I
Okay,
found
okay.
the LOS and screamed it to my room.
Oh yeah, I was in that room and I was like, fuck.
And then I was like, oh no, I think I'm going to be in trouble. And then I didn't understand when I could play it. Like, I was like, because I think I messaged Aubrey, I think for this round, because I got scared. I was like, wait, this is, or no. I don't remember which round, but I messaged her and she was like, too late. And I was like, oh my God, I just tried to play an LOS and didn't know when to time it. Yeah, that was a bad move.
When is the last time you can play it?
I don't know.
Is it 6?
6?
Or no?
I wasted
Oh, okay.
it. I used it on a round. I didn't need it. So, blue.
Well, this was where then, Michael, you bit the dust, my friend. I'm so sorry to say it. Look at that great Twitter handle there. You're able to snipe that up at From Sequester. So, Michael at From Sequester. You can go follow that. Michael, any final thoughts on the game? Any plans to play in the future?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I learned that I shouldn't panic and freak the fuck out because I was like, I thought I got in so much in my head. I was like, oh, I'm playing so good. I'm doing so great. And then like the second I heard my name, I was like, well, everything's falling fucking apart. So yeah, I don't know if like I immediately want to go. Like I had the itch scratched, but maybe like in the future, like with this experience, like play a better game, like a calmer game. If anybody like checks out my Twitter, I'm looking to like match donations to any Black Lives Matter funds, any protest funds, any bail funds. So like tweet your like DM me your receipts and I'll go ahead and match your donation. I'm matching up to like $250. So please be an ally in the best ways that you can and help inspire positive change in your community and the world. We can start making a real change. But thank you everyone. It was a great game. Congrats, Sam. I hope your teeth feel better.
Thank you.
That's incredible, Michael. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming on. And, maybe one day we will see you in the future. Who knows? You got the bug, but maybe you'll get it again. Bye, Michael. So after Michael's elimination, that brought us into the first of our 2 button twists. Now, we had a slight little deviation on the normal button twist. Usually it's a green and red button. And tonight it was a black and red button. Was that right? So black was normal. And okay, yeah. So to go with the theme of EMO Night, it was black and red. And the black button was, if the player pressed that, no twist, normal voting round. If even one red button was pressed, there would be a crazy twist unleashed. And the twist this round, after people pressed the button, was that everyone was stuck in their room. No one could make any room changes. And this was interesting, especially because a couple of you were by yourself. So let's talk about that. How did we get to the point where who ended up going here? Was this Ethan?
Ethan.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Let's get into that.
Yeah. I was in a room with Lou.
Oh, and
and
I'm so sorry. I
Goldie.
want to cut in to say that we have Rachel joining us in the rotation.
Hey, Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi. Hey, Rachel. Yeah, this round sucked because I was in this like small room with Lou and Goldie, who I talked with Goldie, not that much Lou, and then I thought maybe we got a lot, like people were saying Rachel, so I was going to throw my vote on her, thinking that she was probably going to vote for me also, but it came down to the room sizes, unfortunately.
I pushed the wrong color. I thought red was keep it a normal round.
Yeah, I was
So
confused.
it'll
I just
be
read it.
easier.
I just like I heard her like saying them, and I was like, I don't even know which one she said. And I wrote to her, I was like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what colors are which, so whatever the twist one is, sure. But yeah, I was with Leo and Dante, and I was so happy because I was like, I like had connected with them from the beginning, and I was just like, oh, this is gonna be fun. And it was like right when I had just cut at the end of the round, I was like, vote Nadim, and then it cut, and they were like, and we just came together, and they were like, what? And I like explained it, and I was like, I know we're not gonna have the vote to like succeed and do it, so but we could just do it anyway, and hopefully maybe Ethan and Rachel will do it. How like we talked about it beforehand, but yeah,
I thought about it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I got really lucky, I think, especially because I ended up in a room with 5 people. And as soon as I saw that I was with the majority, I was like, good, because I'm nervous and this might not work out to my favor. I think Cammy was in that room. I don't really remember who else was.
I would think I was too. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And so we really, I guess, really lucked out on that one. But I don't even remember if I voted for that round. So
me.
I voted for Ethan. Yeah.
Sorry, Ethan.
That's cool. No, that's fair.
If it's any consolation, sorry, Rachel. I wanted to vote you that round, but I couldn't because you were in the same
I
room.
was going to pick with you, so we'll get to that when we get to that.
So yeah, I was in the room with Ethan and Goldie, which were I hadn't really talked much to either one of you. I'm a big proponent, and sorry, Rachel, I voted for you a few times.
I know.
And the only reason, so my strategy is always in this game, when I vote for someone once and they don't go, stick with that name and keep trying to get them out. I just don't like collateral damage. Like if someone, it's so easy for names to spread and be like, oh, this person's targeting you, that I don't want to, if someone's still there and I already targeted them, I want to make sure they go before I target someone else, because I don't want multiple people thinking I'm going after them. And I knew Ethan's name was out there, and I told you this in the room, Ethan, that I was like, I think you're in danger.
Yeah, I had like a
because,
gut feeling it was bad.
yeah, because it's going to be you or Rachel most likely, and we only had 3 votes. So we put our votes on Rachel, but I figured that if you were in a bigger room that Ethan would probably go. And we made a deal, me, you, and Goldie, when we were in there, that like if we all managed to stay, we need to stick together, because I kind of figured, because this is the first time that twist was pulled out, and you don't usually get that much time in a room with people, you know, without being bothered, without room limits and that sort of thing, that every single room was going to be like, we need to keep this together. Like we need to align and we need to go to the end. That's what I would have done. So I was on board with me, Ethan, and Goldie, but then you were taken from us like 20 seconds later. So yeah.
I think that was one of my biggest regrets in the game, Louis, was when so many people were coming to me and telling me that you were gunning for me. And I was kind of like, fuck this guy. Like, okay, like, I don't know what, we haven't talked a ton. And I kind of just took a back seat, but I now looking back also realize how big your influence on a lot of people was in that game. So I think that even if I tried coming back after you, I probably wouldn't have been able to rally.
So here's the thing I got, and because I mean, it's still quite a few rounds till you left. Like I had been trying to target you still, and you lasted so many times. I was like, she's running things. Like she's got, like she's clearly, like I started thinking like, is there an all women's alliance? Like, how are you continually staying every single time? That I started getting scared, and I was like, well, now she really needs to go, because clearly she's, you know, ahead of some huge alliance, but I don't know.
Well, I appreciate that. I'll take that perception for sure.
Joining us now to offer their insight onto this round, the round where our buddy Ethan here was eliminated, we have Leo joining us. Let's bring Leo in.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Leo.
I don't have makeup wipes. Please forgive me. Yeah, this round was tough because it was between me and Sam and Dante, and I knew that we had to go for either Rachel or Nadim, because those were names that were thrown out, and we only had 3 people, so I was like, we probably don't have the majority. The best way to use our vote is to hope that people go with a previous name. And I just wanted to protect Rachel. I thought I could have her in my pocket and that we could do something. So I was like, let's just get out Nadim because I think he's going to turn on me at some point. And Sam, you seem set on Nadim. So I was like, all right, if we can get him out early, let's just do that. But unfortunately, it did not work, and the vote was out of our control.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, Ethan, any plans to play again in the future?
I would love to. Congratulations, Sam.
Thank
It was a lot
you.
of fun. Yeah, I hope I get to play again.
Any final thoughts on the game or anything else on Sequester?
I was a little nervous going in being like probably the only 18-year-old gay boy that Henry had started trailblazing for us kids, but it was really fun, and I hope I get to play again. And yeah. Bye.
Well, we hope to see you again. Thank you so much for coming on.
Bye, Ethan. Good playing with you.
Take care. So after Ethan's elimination round, we moved into the second button twist of the night, with the result of the button being pressed being the second highest votes round. Now, this round resulted in a tie between Rachel and Caitlin. Is that correct? Am I correct in there? And this was where Caitlin was eliminated. So let's get into that. Rachel, did you know that it was going to be you or Caitlin this round, or how did that go?
Yeah, I had been hearing my name a lot. Like every room I was jumping around, people were telling me that people were going for me and whatnot. So I was just trying to rally who I could. I think that was the round. There was like a few people that were looking out for me. So I was really appreciative of that. But I was just trying to stay cool, calm, collected, and do what I could to keep trucking along. So
that really sucked because like we did have a girls' alliance, and I don't remember if I had told Sam about it yet or not. But yeah, and I was like, I don't want to vote for either of y'all.
I know. Once I saw Caitlin and I was like, damn, that sucks. Like that sucks.
You had told me like at the end, I think, of like Now and Later and like the second round, and you were like, there's a girls' alliance, do you know? And I was like, no. And I was like, I always like figured like in the back of my head, I was like, I'm not gonna like go and like vote for girls like either way. Like I kind of like an unspoken thing. But I was like, oh, this is kind of shady. I was like, were they just not gonna tell me? And I was good with like you, Rachel, and like you, Cammy. I really like didn't like have like real conversations with Caitlin or anything, so I was a little nervous, but yeah.
Because I thought I was making that up in my head, and I was like, that's such a bad thing to think. Like I shouldn't be thinking that way, but it seems like there is. But no, there can't. And when we got to the tie between you and Caitlin, I was like, okay, there's definitely no girls' alliance. It didn't happen, but clearly it actually was there. I voted for you, Rachel, as per usual in this round. But then I switched my vote at the tie, and I voted out Caitlin just because I was in a room with, I think, a couple people. I think Dante was in there, and they were all like, yeah, we prefer to have Caitlin out. And I didn't want there to be another tie. So I switched my, well, technically, I guess I voted for you, but voting for you was a good thing in this round to get Caitlin out.
Yeah, I didn't see much of Caitlin throughout the whole game, really, other than being in room 5 with her. And I just couldn't get a read on her. So I was like, yeah, I don't feel good. Let's get her out.
Yeah, I think that twist that Caitlin and I ended up in rooms alone. For me, looking back, if I had to say there was a round where I lost a step behind Sam in like a comparison of final two. Sam being able to sort of take control and move onto Nadim and sort of own that, especially with you, Leo. I was, if I had known that was where things were moving, I threw a vote onto Ethan when I was by myself, just not knowing like where anybody's heads were at. And
that was a tough round to predict.
Yeah, and from that moment on, like the next round, I threw one onto Nadim because I kind of clocked him as a guy who I think everybody was feeling really good about his win equity, and then it came down to Rachel and Caitlin, and Rachel and I had connected a little bit more than Caitlin and I had connected, and I kind of got the feeling that Rachel was looking to move forward with some people, and I wanted to be one of those people, so I was trying to keep Rachel on board, especially since Lou said he was going to try to keep her in that moment. So that's what happened there. But I think I just kind of fell behind at that point.
Joining us now to offer their perspective on the second highest votes round, we have Goldie joining us. Welcome, Goldie.
On? Okay. Cool.
Hi, Goldie.
Hi. Oh my gosh. There was a girls' alliance without me? That's all I wanted.
No, we had been in a room. It was Cammy, Caitlin, and I, and we were like, "Girls, let's do this." And then I never got alone with Sam and Goldie, but you were in it regardless.
Okay.
You were
That's all I wanted. I was like trying to stay low and vote out all the guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was my only plan. I didn't really have much planning involved.
Oh, and I think okay. So now I remember that's the second highest round because I was like, why did I vote for Rachel? But then I was like, I had to vote for one of the girls.
Yeah.
But I ended up voting for Caitlin just because I knew that she was her and Goldie were friends. Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, I know we have an alliance, but I was like, if I'm my back against the wall, like I have to get out somebody that I know is not gonna have 100% have my back because they're already
had your back for anybody except Caitlin. But
well, that's what I'm saying, except for her. But I was like, you can't have a number one if I need to be everyone's number one, and you can't have one if it's not me.
Oof. I think this is like the peak of my drunkenness, so I don't really.
Yeah, I have written at this point, I have all capitals. Dante is fucked up.
I'm embarrassed, actually. I came to you at the end when I gave my little slurry finale, but that was it.
I would have voted for you.
Isn't that weird? I didn't realize people said that in jury.
After Caitlin's elimination round, that moved us into round 9, which was our last pre-jury round. Now, this was Cammy. This was what you were fearing the whole game. You knew this was coming, and because this was where you went last time, right? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So this was the votes reveal drag round, and if I'm reading this chart right and remembering right, it was a tie here. Is that right? Between Reno and Goldie. And am I getting this right? Okay. And then, so who was eliminated and who was dragged?
I was eliminated.
Reno was eliminated, yeah.
Okay. And who did you drag, Reno?
I dragged Rachel.
Oh, yeah, that's rough. That's right. So let's get into that. Reno, did you know you were the target? And also, when it came time to do the dragging, why did you land on Rachel?
Okay, so yeah, I didn't know. Don't worry, I'm not gonna. She's giving me daggers. So I mean, I don't know if I was out of the loop. Obviously, I wanted Caitlin to stay the last round just because it was between Rachel and Caitlin. I had a starting room alliance with Caitlin. I just had a better relationship with her. I just didn't really get much of a chance to talk with Rachel. So when that came out the opposite way, I didn't know if I was really out of the loop, but I was not hearing my name and nobody around. Like, I didn't feel like I was the target. I didn't feel like I was on anybody's radar. And I feel so stupid because Bryce talked about this strategy. He's like, when you have an even numbered vote thing, vote for yourself. And so I knowing that the votes were going to be exposed, I threw away my vote and I voted myself this round, which ended up causing a tie. And so it's the opposite of Bryce. If Bryce had voted himself, it wouldn't have caused, like he would have stayed, and mine was the opposite. So
wow.
So you won both our games, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I did. But I would like to hear, because I don't know what caused people to go after me that round. Like, I'm watching back the thing that TR posted, and I heard like Cammy throwing my name out randomly, but I just don't know what caused people to go after me that round, unless they were just trying to throw away votes because they knew they were going to be exposed.
Somebody, I don't know who I was in a room with, but somebody we had somehow landed, or somebody came in and said your name. So I was like, okay, well, then the next person asked me who was, and I was like, okay, well, I guess we're voting out Reno. But then I'm always, I don't know. For some reason, I always vote for the person. Like every time it's a drag round, I always end up voting for that person. I always do. I don't know how that happens. But I had an LOS, but also I didn't worry about it because I had an LOS anyway. So I was like, so that was the only way that I totally felt comfortable that round. I was like, okay, I know I'm not getting dragged this time.
So I don't know what caused my name to go out of people's mouth, unless it was just they were just trying to throw it away because they knew the votes would be exposed.
It was
Unless
me.
Lou is here saying you did it.
So my plan this round was, above anything else, to make sure Rachel didn't get voted out. I just wanted to make sure you were safe because I thought you would drag me. So my only goal here was to get the target off of you. So I suggested Reno. I couldn't. So when it was a tie between you and Goldie, I threw my vote. I think I voted Sam in this round because I just didn't. I didn't want to be dragged because that's what happened to me at Winners at War. But obviously, when it's a tie, your vote is going to get exposed regardless. And I knew I couldn't vote Goldie because I had promised her in that room that I would never vote for her. So I ran to you as soon as I saw it was a tie and like just tried to say like, hey, I have to vote for you because I promised I wouldn't vote for Goldie. So please don't drag me. And that worked. But really, the only reason I threw your name out was because your name had some traction previously, as did Rachel's. It had come out, I think, around before that people had started mentioning you. And I knew Rachel would be a target there. I just wanted to make sure she was safe. So that was really the only reason.
Louis, as soon as I found out that like multiple people were telling me that you were coming for me, I was like, if I go out at any point in this game, I hope it's a drag round so I can win. So,
yeah, and I knew that, and that's why I had to make sure you did not get voted out.
I was mad this round went the way it did because I was pushing so hard for Nadim because I felt I was tight with Nadim and his name had come up. So I was like, oh, if everyone votes Nadim, I can throw my vote. Nadim's not going to get me for backstabbing him. And we're good. I didn't hear Goldie's name. I didn't hear Reno's name at all. I was like,
literally me.
Yeah. And then it tied between Reno and Goldie. I was like, how, guys, fuck.
I did the same exact thing. I did this. I was like, Nadim, this is great. I was like, and I figured, I was like, people are going to throw their vote. It might not be like 100% Nadim, but I voted for Alec. I threw my vote.
The first time Alec's name has ever been voted for in the game.
I remember Audrey said it. She came on. She's like, everyone threw their
She pretty much,
Yeah, she called us the fuck out.
I was like, fuck. And when it was Reno and Goldie, and I was like, okay, I was like, I really didn't like talk to Goldie like until this round. And I was like, it was like one of the first times I had talked to her, and I was like, I'm not gonna vote for her because I don't want her to like drag me and think like that was shady. And I was like, I think Reno's getting enough traction where like, yeah, my name's gonna be like announced, but I don't think he's gonna drag me. So, and that was the round I got my LOS. So I was like, I'm good either way.
For the record, I think I probably would have also dragged Lou because I think I would have thought he was lying to me. Lou.
And
yes. So yeah, I figured I was concerned if you got voted out that you would drag me regardless, even if I didn't vote for you. But yeah, I just didn't want to be dragged because I knew by that point that there were a few people who did not have high feelings for me. So I was worried I was going to get that exact same placement yet again. But thankfully Reno had, saved me. So thank you. I honestly just wanted to ask a jury question, guys. That was I've had that jury question set for so many years. And I was like, if I come so close again and I don't get to ask it, I'm going to be so mad. But thankfully I got in there. So that was one of the goals in the game that I checked off.
So my reasoning, I was kind of scared that you did have an LOS, Lou.
So we'll get into that later. I did, but I didn't know I had it. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So then my reasoning for dragging Rachel was just because, okay, there's something, I'm thinking to myself, okay, there might be something going on with the girls. Her name's getting enough traction from previously, like going forward. Like I said, she's going to be an easy fallback vote. And I didn't want to make it, I'm like, okay, if she goes, that's going to mess up people's games in terms of like trying to get another name out there. So that was it was a casualty, but it was basically to mess up everybody else's game. But just know, like, I would have wanted to drag Lou, but I'm like, I think he has an LOS because I was.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in retrospect, if you did try to drag me, I imagine Audrey would have reminded me that I had one, so I would have been all right.
Yeah.
But I was more scared than I should have been because I didn't think I had one. So
I'm sorry, Rachel.
It's fine, I guess. It's okay.
I mean, I don't know how long. Like, I don't know if you had stayed. I think you probably. I mean, your name was getting a lot of traction, so I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I would have liked to find out, but it's okay.
Well, the two of you, any plans to play again in the future?
Yeah.
Get again on a mini?
Go ahead, Reno.
I want to. I mean, this was my 4th time applying. I didn't believe it was going to take because I've heard of people she said people were paying the Patreon fee and playing multiple times and then canceling it to avoid paying the fee. And I'm like, wow, it happens like that quickly. But yeah, I guess it's picking up enough traction now where it's taking a long time to get on. So I definitely want to play again.
Well, it seems like now then you got to start applying tomorrow to get in for a month. I don't know. It's filling up quick. What about you?
Yeah.
I for sure want to play again. It's funny because the first Sequester Mini I ever watched was the Survivor one a few weeks ago because I'm a massive Survivor fan. And then my friends and I were hooked and they convinced me to apply. And my first time I got in and I was stoked. I had so much fun. I might be game bitter, Reno, but all of you, I'm so happy we got to play together. I hope to see you again. Let's work together.
I promise I won't gun for you every round next time. If we
Louis, you're out first.
Just some of them.
Next one, you're out first.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, God.
I'm kidding.
I know.
Well, thank you, Reno. Thank you, Rachel. It was a pleasure having you both on the show. And, we'll see you play again soon, and we'll have you back on the show again soon.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care. So after their sad parting, sad leaving the game, that moved us into jury, baby. And the first jury round we had resulted in am I looking the right way? Leo. I'm so sorry, Leo. This was where you went, my friend.
Yes, it was.
History can't repeat itself. This is the round, of course, where the players are instructed to vote for someone that they have not previously voted before in the game. This is a round for getting out good social players, good under-the-radar players, people who have not been big targets. People usually who are big targets get to take a nice little snooze, go for a cool little Sunday drive during this whole bit. So, Leo, how did we wind up with your head on the chopping block? Please.
TR, I gotta say, amazing question. I'm wondering the same thing. I felt most confident going into this round because I was like, oh, out of these 9, I've been voted for the most, I'm pretty sure. So statistically, I feel like I'm probably not getting that many votes. And once I hit jury, I knew I needed to start playing hard. And no one had talked about Lou all game, and I knew he was playing hard. And I had to push him. I just kept getting into rooms where Lou wasn't in that round. And I was like, hey, I don't want to throw out names, but has anyone voted for Lou? Everyone said that they hadn't and that they would. And I think that was 2 or 3 different rooms until we ended up in the same room right as the round was ending. And so I was like, oh, cool. Literally everyone I talked to seemed very genuinely like they would vote for Lou. And people probably can't vote me anyway. So,
I was doing the exact same thing, only for you. I was running to every room saying, Leo, Leo, Leo. And the fun part is that I threw a vote for you in the second round or something. So I couldn't even vote for you. But I was just telling
everyone hate me this round? What happened?
I never knew until I read the chat back after a little bit, and I didn't realize that I was in that much danger in that round because you were saying my name to everyone. And people in the chat were
it was you versus
Louis.
me.
Yeah, and people in chat were like, oh, Louis has 3 LOSs. And I was like, no, I was not that safe. I just didn't think people were saying my name. I didn't think you were saying my name, but I guess I ended up winning that one. Thankfully.
Yeah, we were both running around the same way. I had an LOS too, but I was so convinced that I didn't need to play it.
This is when I think I started my room with Christian for the first time and Nadim, and that's when Nadim had called me out and he was like, so I heard you've been saying my name, and I was like, yeah, but I can't vote for you.
It's actually beautiful timing that you mentioned Nadim's name because look, we have joining.
Yes, get Nadim in here.
Hi, Nadim.
What's up, Nadim?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
But yeah, I just remember Nadim was like, so you were saying my name, and I was like, yeah, but I can't vote for you, so let's vote Lou. Do you know who he is? And I remember people were like, no, and I was like, what? I was like, I was just shocked because it was fun. This is funny because Lou DM'd me a few weeks ago asking to be on the podcast because he thought I was a different Sam that had played, and I was like, nope, sorry,
It's true. It was the wrong Sam. And even with that, I still didn't realize in this game she had played.
It was very reassuring later after I had won to just type a message to him and be like, this really aged well.
And only
also
then
to
did I
say
realize.
that joining us now into the rotation, we have Alec. Alec is coming in as well. That's the last person joining us for the day. So this is our locked panel until people start to go.
Hi,
Alec.
Hi, Louie.
Look at this reunion. Look at us.
Oh man, this round was crazy. Louie, I went in a room with Leo, and
We
I was
started
like,
together.
Yeah, we were like, okay, let's do it. You and me will be final two, and I was like, fuck yeah, let's do it. And immediately go into a room with Louie, and Louie's like, let's do Leo. We're doing Leo. It's Leo, and I was like, oh damn. So I guess it's Leo. Shit. And then
The only reason Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you're
No,
good.
so the only reason why I didn't vote for Lou is because I had already voted for him. So I had never voted for Leo.
So it's
and then
You
there
told
was
me you hadn't voted for him. Cammy, what the hell?
No, I
You said
did
you were
vote-
good on the Lou plan.
I know.
We went into the same room and I said, are we still good? And you said, what plan? And I said, Lou. And you said, oh, yes.
But here's everything. I realized because I'm looking at it right now. I typed LOA, LOS, and then I typed Lou. So I didn't realize that I did already vote for him.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at
that's
all the gibberish that I wrote, and I was like, I don't even know if that was. I couldn't remember if that was a vote, or if that was me trying to get an LOS. But either way, I messed up.
Holy shit.
Not to
so
like
funny.
fast forward, but that came out, maybe it was this round or the round after, that you had voted for me at some point. And that's like, Cammy, like everything I said to you the entire game was 100% genuine. My entire goal was to get us to 2. But then we'll get to that round later. But that was the only reason after I found that out, I was like, and it was a tie. I was like, I can't risk myself being that she's voted for me before because she's not as on board as I am. So I'm not going to take that risk.
Did all y'all know who Lou was? Was I the only one in jury who didn't know that this guy had played before?
No,
I
got him
had
out.
seen the
I'm saying.
podcast and I'd seen Winners at War, and I still was like, "Wait, is that guy?" The whole time, I couldn't. I didn't know for sure.
Yeah, as soon as the first video came out, I was like, "That's Louie. That's not Lou." And I was telling my room. I think Goldie. I think I was mentioning that too. I'm like, "Have you guys like watched Sequester Mini before?" Because I think that's Louie, and I think he's won this game before. You know, I knew,
And I
but
was
you
like,
know.
I thought you were right, but I didn't know for sure. And I was like, I don't want to be mean to some
Well,
weird
I mean,
guy.
even if
like,
it was,
weirdo.
even if it was him, I still wanted to play a little dumb. I'm like, oh hey Lou, how's it going? Just kind of play a little dumb because I knew most people didn't know. Like I asked Elijah didn't know, and a bunch of other people too. So I was just like, I'm just gonna not point that out too much,
Yeah, I didn't know exactly who he was, but I just knew in the video. I was like, okay, clearly he's trying to cover up something. In my notes, I was like, is Lou even his real name? Like, I was just like, I don't know. I didn't know why it didn't. I didn't know that he won until I went to jury. But I was just like, yeah, like I was like, what is he hiding from? I just didn't know what. And then no one else was saying anything. But I was like, something's up with him. And either everybody knows or no one knows.
Yeah, I thought everybody knew. I was literally just like, oh yeah, Louie. I wasn't even saying Lou. I was saying Louie for most of the game.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, you guys didn't know. It's like, oh, oops.
Okay.
I felt.
So, I mean, I was not trying to hide for a second who I was. It was meant to be a joke of the fact that like returning players are always targeted. Like I never expected, I either expected people to have no idea who I was to begin with, or people to know that I was clearly like joking and I was who I said I was. And like when I got, like as soon as I got into a room with Cammy, it was the first thing I said, because I didn't think, like I tried desperately to find Cammy's Twitter last time when she played like last week to try to get her on the show, and I couldn't find it. So when I got into a room, I was like, Cammy, you don't know who I am, but I know who you are, and I want more than anything to play this game with you. But yeah, and especially like Alec, I knew you knew who I was because we played together. But yeah, I didn't either. It was A, you don't know me, period, or B, I hope that you knew it was a character. But I was surprised that a lot of people, maybe it was the makeup. I was surprised a lot of people were like, oh, I didn't realize it was you until 7 rounds in. I was like, what? Really? Look at the background. It's always the same background.
I knew something was up from the video. I knew something was sketchy.
But it was funny. I mean, I knew it was like a joke, but I was just like, I just didn't understand. Like, I was like, why? I didn't put in my head. I was like, oh, he played before. This is why he's doing it. I was just like, I just didn't understand. Like, why?
Yeah.
Well, Leo.
Yep.
Leo.
That's me. That
I
sounds
was
like the
saying
votes that round.
you look like Justin Thoreau. I don't know if you've ever gotten that before, but I was
Say that again. What was it?
Justin Thoreau
not
from
know
the
who that is.
Leftovers, from Tropic Thunder, from
Looking him up now. Oh wow, what a compliment, TR.
I want to say he's hot.
Outstanding man. Thank you for that.
Hey, I'm not saying your body's like his. I can't speak.
No,
to
yeah,
that.
you are. No, that's what I heard that.
All right, so well, Leo, any big plans to get back into the mini world? Come on.
Oh yeah, I'm winning next time. I've already decided.
Okay.
So can't wait for that. And I'm glad I made it this far, first run. And it was great playing with everyone. But yeah, no, everyone's an amazing. This community is full of so many good people. A lot of fun, and I can't wait to try it again. Yeah, great playing with all of you. Follow my socials and everything, and can't wait to keep watching and cheering you guys on all your next appearances and everything.
It really is a big feat to make it to jury on your first time. So you should be proud of yourself. Congrats.
Thank you.
Way to go.
Odds were stacked against me, and I came through. On EMO
really
Night, too. I was very proud of it.
There
And
you go.
Congrats again to Sam for winning.
Thanks, Leo.
But yeah, great playing with all of you.
Everyone, give Leo a follow. Go check him out. And Leo, we will see you in the next one.
Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Of course. Bye. So after Leo's elimination round, that moved us into the tether round. Now, I don't have here on the charts who exactly was tethered to who, so I'm going to need you all to refresh my memory here, but I know that this resulted in yet another tie. It was yet another tie. This one was between Goldie, who I believe was the one who ended up being eliminated here, and Lou. So let's get into that. Lou, did you know it was you or Goldie? Goldie, did you know it was you or Lou? Where were your heads at?
I think I knew Lou, but I was more concerned the whole time with that I wasn't getting Skype messages, so I only knew Sam was my tether because Sam told me, and we were in the same room. Otherwise, I would have been like, what the fuck is happening the entire time, which is still what was happening. But yeah, I really got too distracted to figure out what exactly was going on. I think I'd heard Lou from people.
Yeah, I mean, I was thankful we were in the same room when it started, so I was like, okay, we're tethered, like we're voting for Lou. And I'm pretty sure like Cammy and Dante were in that room too, and they were tethered, right? And I was like, okay, let's do Lou. And they were like, okay. And then something happened. Dante was too drunk. I like something. And I remember like Lou, I think it was that moment, that round, Lou came in and I saw like Lou and Cammy being like, yes, us, final 2. I was like, fuck. I was like, no. I was like, I gotta split these guys. Like, are you kidding me? I have like a giant heart like next to them with each other in it.
The only reason why I knew about the Lou vote was because I was trying to find Dante, but it was like I just got in the room and I heard him say Lou, and I was like, okay, perfect. I was like, and then we had to mute, so I was like, okay, well, I've been trying to do this already.
My heart is broken. My emo heart is broken. You were trying to get me out.
I just knew you were playing hard. I was like, no one can play harder than me.
But I was playing hard for you, though. That's what you didn't understand. Like, I was legitimately like playing to get you to the end. I never would have crossed you. It's what happened in Winners at War. I was doing the same thing for Mary Payton, and she didn't care and tried to get me out. Nobody takes my word, apparently. I looked like Paul from Big Brother last night. So I realized going in, when somebody commented on me looking like Paul from Big Brother, I was like, oh no, I'm so sketchy. I look sketchy. Yeah, in this round, so Goldie, we kind of made an agreement, and I was going to stick to that until we got to the drag round, where after the drag, you said, oh, why did you vote for me? And I'm like, I didn't. They just read the votes, and I voted for Reno, not you. And that scared me, in the fact that you thought I voted for you, even though they just read who voted for you. So after that, I was like, I can't. I have to try to get her out.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think I misheard her, or I wasn't listening. That's my bad. That was stupid.
Well,
But
I think what actually happened, Goldie, on that round was the people, Lou and the people in that room were discussing, and they were saying, we're not going to vote Goldie because we're gonna vote Reno, and you came in and heard your name, and that's all you heard, and then there was a room limit, and then someone got sent out, and so it was like a little bit of a miscommunication.
Okay, sure. That sounds much better.
Was this also around? Was this around that Dante told Lou to vote for himself?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? Goldie, I saw the clip because I remember being there. I was like starting to come back at this point, and I was just like, what are we doing? And then Goldie was there. She's like, I'm here. Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean, what are we doing? I was just like, oh my God, no, I voted with you, like, you're good. And then you went out, and we were like, Lou, Lou, Lou. And it was like this chant. And then Lou came in while I was still doing, and so he was like, what do you guys think? And I was just like, Lou, Lou, can you do Lou? And it was just, and then Lou, and I was just like.
So, Cammy, did you switch your vote after the tie? You did. So you stuck voting against me. Interesting.
Yeah.
So how did the tie get broken then? Somebody switched their vote.
I don't know, because it says I voted Lou.
Oh, I thought I convinced you at the end. That's what I thought happened.
I needed her Goldie because she didn't have anybody else, and I was like, okay, so she's gonna need me too.
Yeah.
So
I don't know who switched their vote then.
I probably wouldn't have voted against Lou if it'd been a tie with somebody else.
Yeah.
This was the tether, right?
Yeah, tether.
So it was like, so Nadim and I were both tethered in this one, and that was when we were really trying to, or at least Christian, myself, and Nadim were talking about going after you, Lou. But then you came into the room, and then we were just like, oh, we were talking about, and I think you heard us say your name. And we were just like, oh, we were talking about saving you for next time.
I'm so trusting. I'm so
trusting. And then you were like, you were like,
no
oh,
idea.
okay. And then that's when, and then the round ended while you were in the room. So I think Goldie was the only other option.
Why was I the other option?
Because if I didn't vote for Nadim, I didn't, and it was the tie. Yeah. If I didn't vote with Nadim, our vote wouldn't have counted, right?
But why did my vote come up? Why did my name come up in the first place? Was it just because it'd been a tie before?
Oh yeah. This was after the tie.
Yeah. But this was the second time. You know what I mean? Now I don't know what I'm saying.
Why did it come up like in the first place? I think that was just because they had been going around.
I had to vote with Lou against Goldie on the retie, and Goldie and their partner, I don't know who your partner was, Goldie, but had to vote for Lou, and then it was just the two pairs. So I'm assuming Dante and Cammy didn't vote the same, which is why Goldie went.
Same? I was like,
somebody didn't vote the same. Somebody's partner didn't vote the same. I voted for Lou twice, and I'm pretty sure I thought Dante.
I knew I was going around saying, Cammy, like, I'm with you. Like,
so this is how I remember it started. So it was me and Alec. We were in a room with Cammy. I think it was you and Louie were already in the room. And we were talking about Goldie as an option. I think Louie threw it out. And we were like, in my head, I was like, okay, yeah, let's do Goldie. Because ideally, if Louie left that round, me, and everybody else that was kind of being targeted, like pretty much the rest of the half of the game, would have been like the next boot. And Goldie would have probably continued to move further in the rounds, to be honest. And so I was like, you know what? That's a great plan. So I was like, Alec, let's vote for Goldie. We have to vote Goldie. We have to keep Louie. Because ideally, like, it would have maybe ended up the same way. Louis was probably going to be like, he was definitely above me in terms of the target. And so I was like, okay, as long as Louis is still around and they, keep gunning for Louis, like, I was going to be good. So I was like, Alec, we're not, even during the tie, we're like, Alec, I'm not switching my vote. We're keeping Goldie. And I think we definitely stayed. But yeah, I don't even know how it got to a tie and how that tie broke either.
There has to be someone who didn't vote with their partner.
Yeah, somebody didn't vote with their partner. That's the only reason why it did.
I mean, we have the whole jury here. We could probably figure it out.
I voted
I
Goldie.
mean, we know how 4 votes went on the retie at least. So I mean, because Goldie went, I have to imagine Cam and Dante messed their vote up.
It was probably me because I was so wasted, but like I'm trying to. How would I know what vote? Okay.
Because if you guys stuck with your vote, it would have gone to a wheel. Like, there's no way.
Oh, no, I voted Lou.
I voted Lou twice.
I voted Lou.
Yeah, I definitely voted.
No, oh my god, no. I voted Goldie on the revote, and then I got a message from
Dante!
and then she said she said, please stop drinking. So that was also, please stop drinking. And that's when I stopped. And I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna get booted for just being a disaster.
Oh my god, you
I messed your game up. I was like, literally, I thought I made a mistake.
I love the fact that after you told me to vote myself, you didn't even vote me. That is phenomenal.
Right?
Oh my god, that makes some great
I'm not even mad.
I like
Okay.
messed up the whole game.
That's amazing. I love it. No, that's if I gotta go out in a weird way, that's the best possible way.
my God,
I'm
no,
so happy. Oh my god, I love it.
Well, Goldie, I saw a comment earlier, Goldie, that someone's excited to see how you grow in the community. Do you plan to stick around in the community? Maybe play again? What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I thought I'd just disappear forever, but yeah, I guess. No, I'm definitely gonna play again if I can.
Well, that's good. Any final thoughts on the mini, on the night, on the experience as a whole?
It was super lovely to meet all of you. I had a really great time. Thank you so much for having me on this podcast. You too.
Yeah. Taking the time to come on.
Oh my god, that was just a lot of followers at once.
Oh, wow, look at that. That's the Podquester bump, baby. Everyone, It's coming to everyone. Well, enjoy those new followers, Goldie, and thank you so much for coming on the show. We'll see you in the next one.
Thank you for having me. Black Lives Matter.
Bye.
Yes. Bye, Goldie. So after Goldie was eliminated, that moved us into the a twist that people have been really wanting to see again for a long time. This was the 7 Deadly Sins twist. So Audrey picks a bunch of random different punishments. This one they were themed for EMO Night, and the people whose names were landed onto the wheel were punished. This resulted in some questionable behavior here. Of course, we have Christian backstage doing that. Now, what I want to know, in what world is this drumming? You did this like all round, and then Sam, in what world is this an air guitar? You were like,
I just want to say we did the best. We were the best air band of all time. We were in sync with each other. We knew that we were going to play some weird ass music. and that was what was playing.
I was saying I would love for a composer to compose whatever you both were doing.
Please make that.
I just remember I got it and I was like, thank God, because I can do this. But I didn't know if I should have like stood up and then like moved the camera, because like I wanted her to like see that I was doing it, because like just be on the screen. I was like, it was a cello 100%, but I was like, it's fine.
Well, in the 7 Deadly Sins round, of course, we had the air guitar, we had the air drums, we had Christian picking his nose the whole time. We had Dante had to be muted the whole time, and of course, Cammy, you had the sad clown one, which resulted in some pretty funny, memorable quotes. We have people saying your punishment was the best here. I'm a sad little clown, and I want to know how this round went. How did we end up with yet another tie? It was a tie between Cammy and Nadim. And Cammy, this was where you went. Do you think your sad little clown punishment had anything to do with it, or what was it? What happened?
I think the whole thing behind the ties, I don't know. I really thought that I could just push it one more round. I was like, oh, I thought I could push not using my LOS just one more time. And I got greedy, but like the thing with so many ties is like that just shows like how hard everyone was playing on opposite sides of the quote unquote house, and there's not a swing vote really in a lot of those situations. Like people are pretty much just like stuck, which is really interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I think I just tried the best I could.
I think I actually
Yeah.
messed up earlier. This is the round where Lou came in and broke up our conversation, because this is what we were talking of, either between Lou or Cammy, and then and then Lou was like, "Wait, why me?" And then we didn't really have any other more time because he was the only one in our room, and then it ended.
So this was interesting because so my goal in this round was to get Dante out. After he said, "Have you voted Lou? Can you vote Lou?" So I expected it to be the echo chamber round, because that's what Audrey's been doing at Final 7 for the most part, where they replay, the clips of what people are saying. So I was going to, as soon as the sound went on, just start yelling, "Get Dante out. We all have to vote Dante, vote Dante." But it wasn't that round, because I still at that point thought Christian and Alec and Nadim were completely on my side. But because I started with 4 people in the room, I was like, well, let's just vote for someone else. It'll be an easy vote. We have majority here. So we just settled on voting Nadim. And that was the plan, was just the 4 of us vote Nadim. I didn't actually realize that Nadim was probably the closest to high I had in the game. I was way off there, but that was the plan.
So it started off with, I think it was me, Christian, and Alec in a room. And we were talking about either Lou or Cammy. So I was like, oh my God, that's perfect. And I was going to push Cammy because I was like, okay, I feel like, again, in terms of target level, I think if we can get one of these guys out, that'll be perfect. And I thought Cammy would be the best to go now, because I felt like, yeah, people were trying to bring her. Lou, you even mentioned how you were going to take her to the final 2 at some point. And I was like, okay, you know what? That's the best option. So I pushed it. I was like, Cammy, jumped out of the room, pushed it. And then I come back to find out that y'all were going to vote for me. And then
see what happened?
Then when it came to the tie, I was like, Lou was like, yeah, Christian said you were throwing my name out. Cammy heard that I threw her name out. I was like, I'll admit to one of these because I did actually throw Cammy's name out. So I was like, yeah, Cammy, I threw your name out. Like, somebody's got to go. That's exactly what I said. Nothing personal, obviously. I just wanted to stay, clearly. So I was like, okay. So I was hoping it was going to be like straight Cammy, but then I figured I was going to get some votes because that's when the tie happened, after apparently Christian said that I was throwing the names out. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I hope it's either going to be me or you. And I was glad it was a tie because you jumped out of the room. And I think it was just you and Christian looking back at the feeds. It was just you and Christian in a room, and I had everybody else, I think, in that one room. So I'm like, please vote Cammy, please, please, please. And I think, Sam and Alec were like, yeah, once they said that, yeah, Lou and Cammy were very close, I was like, okay, this is great. Alec and Sam are not going to vote for me. And then Louis started kind of, going along with it too. So I was like, oh, okay, I think I'm good. And then you came back in when we were all muted and said, don't vote for me. And I was like, I mean,
because when I saw it was the round, whatever, or 2 before that, when I saw Lou and Cammy be like, final 2, I was like, fuck Nadim, I'm not voting for him. I was like, I'm getting Cammy out of this. Like, I don't care anymore about
you. Ruined my game, Lou.
It legit broke my heart there to have to change my vote. But after I realized, that final 2 was really only on my side, it was never on your side, that I was like, well, I guess there's really no allegiance there, so I guess I'll just switch my vote. But even with that, I still didn't plan on trying to vote you out. I never would have done it.
A lot of it was because you were saying it in rooms with other people. Like, I was like, you can't just say that you want to keep me and that you'll die for me in front of all these people. And I'm just like, he has to go. He has to go before me because everyone's gonna want to get me out. And I didn't even say anything, but just because you wanted me so bad, I was like,
No.
So
don't need to do that.
And it was so great watching back, and I think it was Cammy, Louis, Dante, and Sam, and Louis was like, I don't care about the other 2. Cammy, I will die for you. So I was like, oh my God, I love that. That helped me so much.
I was like, no, please don't do that. You don't have to do that. I was like,
the reason I said that, the only reason I said that with other people in the room was because I was trying to get you to change your vote, because that was the tied tether round. And I thought that the other 2 were going to vote for me regardless. And I thought you were the only one I had a shot of convincing. Or as it turned out, Dante was the one who changed his vote.
Yeah.
Well, Cammy. I'm imagining you're not going anywhere. You're not leaving the community, right? You know, what
I'm
are your
never
plans?
playing. I'm leaving. I actually left the Facebook group. I'm leaving everything. I'm never coming back. No, I'm just joking.
Oh,
I'm just joking.
oh my God! Don't panic me.
Don't do that to us.
I don't know. I've been so addicted to playing like every version of this game. So I will play a million times. I mean, I'm gonna take a break from applying, right now. I don't want people to get too tired of me, but or just get like targeted earlier and earlier and earlier. So I'll give it a little break. But yeah, I'm excited to come back.
You were so fun to watch, even if you were gunning for one of my friends so hard in the beginning. You know what? You were fantastic. You were a great player, and you were running down some of the list of some of the things that we can follow you on. Can you give us that list on everything? What's everything? What is everything?
Oh, everything is like Instagram, Twitter, PlayStation, Xbox. Basically anything you could have a username for. My name is Cammy Supreme, mostly so no one else takes it, but also it's so I can remember it. So basically, you look me up. You look at anything you have, any app I have, even if I don't use it. Like I think I have a TikTok, but I'm like, just in case I want to start.
Well, there you go.
Thank you for having me on here.
Of course, thank you so much for taking the time and spending the last over 2 hours with us. We really appreciate it, and hopefully we'll be able to get you on here again soon.
Yeah, for sure. And congrats again, Sam.
Thanks.
Thank you, Cammy. All right, so after Cammy's elimination, that moved us into the majority rules round. And this was the round, of course, where Nadim was eliminated. The only people who got safety in this round were Christian and Dante. Is that correct? Is that right? Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. Let's get into that. And Nadim, how did you find yourself on the bottom of the pecking order here? What was going on?
I mean, so I kind of knew going into that round, it was either going to be me or Lou. So I was hoping that, when it came to that round, I listened to the podcast, I listened to a bunch of different things about, I guess, strategy and whatnot. And I heard, I think Brett is the one who maybe came up with this, or maybe it was somebody. I think it was Taryn. But it was like the alphabet strategy, right? So I was like, okay, if people know this game, they're going to do an alphabet. So I was like, okay, for the first question, I was going to be like, oh, Alec starts with A, so I'm just going to do Alec, hoping that a couple other people would do Alec too. And then when I saw two Christians and everybody picked somebody else, I was like, oh, frick. And Alec didn't even get a chance to give an answer. So I was like, okay. I felt a little good because I was like, okay, it's me, Louie, Alec, and Sam that were the ones who were kind of vulnerable. So I was like, okay, Louie's still vulnerable, so I'm like, maybe I'll survive this round. And I was honestly going to vote for Louis, and which I probably should have at the moment, because I think this is where Christian, I kind of like put like everything together. I was like, I knew Christian and Sam were close, but I didn't know they played together in a previous meeting. I know they both played before, but I didn't realize they played in a mini before and they connected, coming in, which is totally fine, I think. And so I was like, okay. And then as soon as I felt that, and then I knew Louis and Alec were probably, going to vote for Sam too. I was hoping. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to jump on the Sam bandwagon because she threw my name out. The first one to throw my name out kept throwing my name out. There were so many rounds in this game where I should have been gone. People forgot to play LOSs. I got really, really lucky, and I'm blessed for that. So nothing taken away from that. Thank you. And so I was like, as soon as Christian threw my name out, I kind of knew I was a little bit in trouble, but I was so zoned in. I'm like, it's between Louis or Sam. So I'm just going to vote one of these people. And I guess everybody else can talk about their reasoning. But yeah, that was where my head was at.
So who did you vote for?
I voted for Sam.
Okay.
Yeah, I voted for Sam because I did really want to break up Christian and Sam. And Louis made a good point, and I thought, if I can get it to the final 5, I think I'm still going to be safe. I could make it to final 4, and if I made it to final 4, I was hoping that nobody was going to drag me, because I felt like I did sort of have like a little underdog story. I wasn't connected with anybody on the cast.
Yeah.
My name was thrown around a lot. The only people I did sort of know were playing, just based on my previous game. I'm still really connected to there. I got 9th place, so I was still part of that jury when they used to create Skype chats for them. So I was really connected with them, and they let me know that Christian. They let me know you were playing, but I didn't want to reach out to you or really talk to you because I was like, I'm not into that kind of planning or be like, hey, are you playing type of thing. That's just me personally.
Sure.
And then also I knew Reno was playing as well. So I was like, okay, like that's kind of cool. But and like I got along with Reno. I really trusted Reno. That's why I didn't vote for him. Originally and during the tie, I didn't vote for him. So, but kind of lost my train of thought. So yeah, I voted for Sam because I wanted to break that up, and because I totally agreed, and I thought I could have made it to the final 4 if Sam would have left.
Same. I also voted for Sam because I thought I was trying to keep you in the team because I saw you and Christian were kind of going at it, so I was like I could probably use you to go after Christian in the further rounds, and Sam was the person I had the least connection with, so I was like hopefully Sam goes, and then I felt like I was pretty good with everybody. Like Dante was in my starting room. I totally felt strong with you. Felt strong with Christian. Then I would felt like I could use you against Christian or Louis. So I feel like that was like the biggest pivotal point that I didn't get to.
And I think at this point in the game, the people I trusted the most were probably Louis, Dante, and Alec. I think I trusted you guys the most, and Christian too. Until I kind of figured put it all together and was like, oh okay, these guys are really close, so we have to break that up. And it wasn't going to be you, even if you were say Christian. I think I still would have went for Sam if she was still vulnerable, or Louis, but. I think Dante, who did you voted for Louis, correct?
I'm trying to figure out who It looks like I voted Christian.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
He was safe.
We were both safe.
I don't think so.
Why did I write Christian?
You voted for me in the next round.
Oh, okay. So I voted Nadim that round.
Okay. Okay. So my hope was in hindsight, after I was voted, I was like, okay, Christian said my name. I should have voted for Alec just in case, because I didn't really think 2 people were gonna have LOSs and or keep them until then. So I was like, I didn't think. I was just shocked.
This was my messiest round by far. I think I played, aside from I think I played a pretty neat game, but this I was just a complete mess. So I didn't realize I had an LOS all game. I got it in the first round, and for whatever reason, I wasn't getting Audrey's Skype messages, which is why I had to restart. And as it turned out, I had an LOS in the first round. So I would have played the round completely different if I had known that. I probably would have tried to get votes on me. But so I thought I was fighting for my life, essentially. So I was throwing out everything I possibly could, which is why I started saying, guys, we're returnees. We need to vote Sam, not knowing that Sam was actually a returnee as well. I was just trying to grasp something because I thought I was done. Yeah, so that was my main. I think my biggest downfall in the entire game was trusting Christian as much as I did. I thought Christian had my back regardless. I thought we were going to be final 2. I thought, he was always defending me. I was always defending him because we really had very little interaction throughout the entire game. And so I just thought he would be on my side. And I started to realize in that round that was not the case. And he had allegiances that were, much stronger than mine. I don't know who did vote me this round because, okay. So I guess 1 vote is what
I knew you had. Yeah. I figured you had an LOS, but I was just mad that round because it was just all that shit happening, and the whole entire round until the vote, I completely forgot about my LOS, and I was just mad, and I was like, what the hell? I was angry, and then I went to go vote, and I thought me, Christian, and Dante. In my head, I was like, me, Christian, and Dante are going to vote for Louis, and the other 3 are going to vote for me. And I was like, we're both going to play LOSs. And I was like, I didn't know what was going to happen. And then right before she read it, I was like, oh, maybe Christian actually voted Nadim, and Dante, you did too. So I was, because Christian was the only other person that knew about my LOS. So I was like, oh, maybe that's what kind of sparked that. So
yeah, I mean, to take it back to what Nadim was talking about in the beginning, the alphabetical thing, for me, I understood the strategy not as alphabetical, but as looking at the cast list and who's ever first, just throwing. And it was I was the only available person as you look at the cast list from top to bottom, left to right. I just put my name because I figured somebody would have Nadim's logic in just that first name. Because I mean, Terran, Amon, and Puya kind of solidified the blueprint for these kind of like gaming the strategy of these twists kind of thing. So I was just assuming somebody in this 6 was in on that, and like I was thankful that my name was first because I just threw it out. I don't know if Dante threw that out there because he believed he was answering truthfully, or if he was gaming it. But after that, I didn't really know who had an LOS, and I was a little bit more comfortable. Just because I was safe. And honestly, Nadim felt to me like the winner if he gets to final 2. Like the only person I thought could beat Louis was Nadim. And going into jury, my big 3 targets were Lou, Cams, and Nadim. And I couldn't get Lou out early. And then we ended up paired to each other. And then Cammy went. And choosing between Nadim and Lou here, I was just thinking, I think I've snaked them both. But I get the feeling Lou trust me just enough here to maybe do something in the next round. That didn't end up being the case, but I think I lost the plot here in thinking that I would get to kind of claim the I got Nadim out credit, when I think ultimately Sam is the person who took that home, just because of how much work Sam was doing from the get-go. Back in that round where I was by myself, I didn't realize that this was already on the move. And when I said, Nadim, I was voting for you, I kind of wanted that to be the moment where it was like I was coming for you, and I just I got lost in that.
Yeah, something that came back in this round a little bit from my last game I played. I had a lot of blind confidence. I thought I was so good.
Yeah.
The whole game. And I got out on 9th place because nobody voted for me. And I was like, oh, I'm still good. People aren't going to still vote for me. And, I got out. I was blind to that. I became a ghost for like 3 rounds. It was whatever. Anyways.
That's all I remembered about Unity. I remembered you as the ghost. That will always be stuck in my mind.
Yes, the ghost that was still a ghost as he was a ghost. So yeah, it was one of those games. But I learned a lot from it. And like going again with that blind confidence, like I thought, okay, Louis is gonna vote for Sam, Alec is gonna vote for Sam, Dante. I think the previous round I went into a room with Dante. I was like, Dante, me and you are gonna be final 2.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, oh my god, yes. And I was like, I love that. I'm like, okay, I trust Dante. And so in hindsight, looking back, I was like, I heard you, Christian, say my name, and I think I was just so blind, like confident. I was like, okay, it's either gonna be Louis or Sam still. And again, like I guess with the LOSs, that makes me sad, but it happens.
Oh. I was just working with I think Christian and Alec at this point. And
I wish you would have worked with me. So I was like,
I know. Well, I obviously do too. Now that I'm like watching this all play back, I'm like, I didn't realize I'm like next on the chopping block right after you. So I'm like thinking I'm final 3 with Christian and Alec over
You
here.
wouldn't have been. You really wouldn't have been. We'll get into that round, but I promise.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like Sam and Christian had the same thing about, I think, looking back at like the commentary and stuff, it's like Christian and Sam had the same thing about keeping Lou pretty long, kind of like I was, but I was on the other end because I felt like very alone after a lot of people were telling me that I was being thrown out, which I'm glad people did because learning from my past, I was like, okay, I'm going to be a little more aggressive. I'm going to jump around more and be like, okay, who's saying my name? And I think I came into rooms at good times when people were saying my name a little bit, but then stopped because I was there. So it was kind of like the traction never left. And it was a crazy game. And if it's anything, if it's a blessing in disguise, I'm glad I went out the way that I did compared to technically being voted out. But
Can you talk about, I forgot to have the last few jury members, can you talk a little bit about jury vote and explain your thoughts behind your final vote?
Yeah, so I ultimately went in thinking Sam, because I was totally 100% like when I started the question, I was like, you guys are literally at even playing field. And like, I know there was this whole controversy about like, oh, the bitter jury, like right after I got into the game, all I heard was like, we're not voting for Lou, we're not voting for Lou. And I was like, well, and they were going to vote for Dante. And I was like, to be honest, like compared to like everybody else, I was like, I wouldn't vote for Dante. I would probably vote for Lou if it was them two, just to be honest, because I just respect games so much. So I was like, I'm not going to be bitter. I was going to vote for Lou if he got there, but I mean, I was hoping, you know, you're probably gonna get to Final Four anyway. So I was like,
I didn't realize how much the jury hated me till I was out.
It was shocking. It was shocking. It was more because of the disguise, and I was like, okay, that's kind of not the best reason to. And like, you know, people were saying like, oh, Christian was pre-gaming and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, I mean, like that would be like, I didn't really like that either. But then I'm like, there's nothing really bad about that in hindsight, anyways. So. But yes, I was thinking Sam right away because I was like, she was gunning for me, and the whole game, pretty like most of the game actually, like 2/3, and I was like, okay, like Sam definitely has my vote. But I the last time I played, I voted right away after my question, and my question was so stupid. I'm glad I asked a better question this time around, and so I really wanted to wait till the end. And I think what really got to me was like just the humility that Christian had. And the fact that, like, even though he wasn't saying my name, he still, like, got his way when it wasn't me. You know what I mean? Like, I think Sam was, like, gun, Nadim, and it never worked out too much. And I think Christian played more under the radar. And I was like, I respect that a little bit more because that's the type of game that I, like.
Did you vote for me?
I did vote for you to win, yeah. So ultimately, I did vote for Christian because it was really tough, though. And I voted for Christian because it was so under the radar. I would have never voted Christian. I think I voted for you once this entire game, and that was just a little throwaway. But yeah, and I just respected that more. And Sam, you did great as well. So like, it was a really deserving final two, and I'm happy with the cast that I got to play with. I'm glad the returning thing never, you know, got to me this game, and I'm so happy that Audrey let me play again and really redeem myself from my last game. So, and I appreciate all the love I was getting throughout the game as well, and in the chat. So thank you guys so much, and follow me on the socials. I have like 4 followers on Twitter, so if you want to follow me there, you guys can. But I'm more active on Instagram, so you know you can follow me on Instagram.
Well, thank you so much, Nadim. You know, a lot of people were saying here you were explaining your strategy really, really well. So, you know, that's one of my favorite aspects of the show is for players who maybe feel like they got unfairly deemed like floaters, or maybe who just, you know, when you're watching the game, you only see a very small percentage of the whole game because there's the 5 rooms and you can't naturally watch them all and listen to commentary and be in the YouTube chat and be on Twitter. And so you're going to miss stuff. You're going to hear little, you know, you're going to hear just like briefly what happened in a room, but you're missing out on all the nuance of it. So it's always nice to be able to have this kind of show afterwards and be able to actually talk on your game and show people the game that you were playing. And, you know, we were getting a lot of people in the chat praising you for your strategy. So, you know, kudos to you for that. Congratulations on making it this far. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one.
Oh yeah,
I'll be waiting a little bit, but I do want to point out a really like fun fact real quick. It's so ironic that the first mini I watched live was the one that Louis won, and then the second time I played around, I got to play with Louis. So it was really cool. It was really ironic, and like it was also ironic that like the 2 times I played, there was like technical difficulties with like the first boots, and like it was 19 players. So I was like, wow, this is like coming back to me like a little bit, and it was so funny. It was just ironic. It was just super ironic, and I really enjoyed playing with everybody in this cast. I had so much fun. So thank you.
Thank you, Nadim. Thank you. Be sure to give Nadim that Podquester bump, baby. Go give him a little bit more than 4 followers on Twitter.
Yeah, let's get to 10, y'all. Let's get to 10.
You got to get to 10 followers stat. Come on, get up there. All right, Nadim. We'll see you later. Thanks for coming on the show, man.
All right, bye, guys.
Well, after Nadim's elimination, that brought us to the final 5, which was a true or false round. And of course, this was where Dante, don't be too triggered. This was where you were eliminated, my friend. And the people that had safety this round were Sam and Lou. So that meant that Dante, Alec, and Christian, you were the ones that could have been you could have had your heads lobbed off this round. So how was it then that Dante was the one to go?
Because I believed in what Sam was saying was the first thing that popped into my head. I was like, I want to play with people who play the game and who I want to out talk whoever is at final 2 because I know I can. So I was like, whoever it is, I want to be there with you. But also, if it was just me, Christian, and Dante, I totally wanted to just vote out Dante because I felt like Dante wouldn't be able to defend himself in terms of, no, let's vote out Alec more than Christian can. I would be more worried about Christian voting me out and you guys listening to him than Dante.
I mean, yeah, I was just mad because Louis was like, all right, like, I don't even remember you said like Alec or Christian, but you were just like, I was like, you just literally contradicted yourself the last round where you were like, I want to play with returning people, and
rounds are fluid. They change every round.
Exactly, but I was just like, no, we're getting rid of Dante. I don't care.
And you want to know something funny is, like my boyfriend told me, I literally missed answering the question. I had the right answer. I was like seconds too slow, and I would have been with the safe people.
Yeah, I think in this round, I didn't know who would end up with safety. But I just felt really confident that if I was up against any of the 4 of you, that the other 4, like you 4, were my closest allies in this game, straight up. Once I got safety in round 6, I got tunnel vision on getting Nadim out because I felt no matter which of you I was up against here, I would make it to final 4, and then things would happen when they happened. And so it's no disrespect to Dante, but I felt like Sam, Alec, and Lou all had the strongest games. And part of me was just scared of like, okay, Dante's told people he has an LOS. He's pretty drunk. I don't want there to be some desire to bring Dante as a goat to the end. I want this to be kind of a battled out final 4 where nobody knows who to threaten. Nobody knows who to say, you played the worst game, so I have to threaten you, or the 2 of us were the best 2 players, so we have to stick together and vote this way. I was really interested in navigating that because I was so close to all of you. And so when it came down to, especially when my butt was on the line, I had to push for Dante because it just fit with what I wanted to see in the end game, regardless if I made final 2 or not.
You see, that's the thing, though. I think in this game, like, it's not really up to, like, it's up to the person who gets booted 4th as to if they allow a goat to get to the end, right? So it seems silly for me to not bring Dante to 4 to be 3rd place, right? And that's what I was trying to tell Alec, was that we vote and keep Dante, and then whoever gets voted out at 4 can drag him. So I never really understood, and I mean, I especially don't understand what happened at 4, but I guess I didn't understand why Alec wasn't on board with that plan and why you were so loyal to Christian and Sam when it seemed like we had a good path to get to the end.
Because at the time, I totally did not think the jury hated you as much as they did. I thought I was totally scared of going anywhere near the final with you. I had been trying to get you out, and if it went my way, you would have gone out the round right after Nadim, so this round. And Nadim would have been here. But I just felt like I didn't want you to go to final 2 with me. So at least if you were not voted out at 4, you were dragged at 4. That's kind of where I was placing you, is to hopefully be dragged at 4.
I think I misunderstood this because I got real mad with Christian and Alec, but then looking back, it's like we were in a 3 kind of person thing, and it was just like all of us were up. So
yeah, I didn't want, like, Dante, it wasn't like me wanting to like betray you or anything. My butt was on the line, and this was really honestly the first time in the game where I had to fight for my life. Round 2, I had that PTSD of getting nommed after the first boot, and I was 1 of 6, and I was kind of like panicking, but then I survived that, and I did not hear my name come up the rest of the game. And as these people I weren't aligned with started getting picked off over and over again, I pretty much only had to focus on Cammy, who was going to beat anybody unless potentially she was against Lou, and then Nadim was a person that I thought just had the win equity that I couldn't beat in the end. So it just came down to me being so close with all of you that just looking at the matchup at Final Four, I was scared that because you had that GOAT kind of like status or aura around you, that I wasn't going to be able to navigate that nearly as well as I could navigate the other four of us. Because again, like Alec, I thought Lou was a shoo-in to win no matter who he was against. And I just figured save Lou for the four. I think Alec and Sam are smart enough to know we got to get Lou out of here because he'll beat anyone, and just hope he doesn't drag me.
I was just like, okay, these people messaged me outside and was like, this is our three. And then all of a sudden it's all three of us and it's like open just one room and y'all are just like Dante. And I was like, oh, hell no. I'm going to just do whatever. I was like, it was just like randomly, it was like, oh, it's on with you two. I don't know.
Yeah, that was a complete shock to me when you said that about Christian reaching out to you. I was completely blindsided by that, and that's the thing because I thought the entire game, or up until like 6, that Christian was my ride or die, and that he had my back completely, and I had his back completely. Kind of going into it, I didn't realize how close he was to everyone.
The puppet master.
Yeah.
I mean, I respect it. Watching it back, I'm like, ooh, girl, he's pulling the strings.
That was the thing. I also banked Louis on you trusting Christian more than me. I didn't realize that you would feel so betrayed by me at 4 to drag me instead of Christian. I thought he was closer to you.
I tried to make it so clear. So to speak on both of you, it's interesting because Christian, I think you might know this, and it's weird, but like I was a huge fan of yours, even though you got booted like 2nd or 3rd. Like, when I did the commentary during that, I was just so on board with you during your mini. I loved everything you stood for. I loved your video, and I was rooting for you to do so well. And so I was excited to play with you, just the fact that you were playing your 2nd game, and I was, completely on board with you. And Alec, in your case, like I wouldn't have won my game if it wasn't for you. Like you were a crucial part. I mean, one of the most crucial parts is that at the end of a round, I thought I was safe and you said you're not safe. People are saying your name and I used an LOS and, I would have went out if you didn't tell me that. And, I think it was like first round of jury. My Sequester history would be so different. I wouldn't be on this podcast right now. Like none of that would have happened if you didn't give me that heads up. So I felt I had some allegiance to you as well.
Thank you, Alec. Thank you.
I try.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, that was kind of so I thought that we all were closer than we actually were, I suppose.
I was just so scared of you. Final 2? Ooh.
Yeah. Well, I think that hurt me too, because you saw me at Final 2. Like, you saw how I performed, so I think that was in your head, which is understandable.
Lou, you scared the shit out of me in the game. I felt like you were just really kind of like, Dante, shut up in like certain times. Just like, oh my god, it's scary. And then it was just kind of funny that like the people I had trusted the whole game, Alec and Christian, became the people who were going for me, and then you were like the only one rooting for me. So it was just like tipsy turvy. It was weird.
Yeah. I remember one time I was like, Dante, write this name down. Write it down and circle it. This is who we're voting for. I can't have you forget it.
Clearly now we know I messed up a lot. So. Sorry.
Dante, can you talk about your jury vote for a little bit?
My little slurry moments expose. I feel so bad to Christian and Alec because like I felt like I misinterpreted the round. I kind of understand like it was just us 3, and so I felt some kind of way about you, and then I was like, I'm gonna reveal you contacted me on Instagram, and then people on Twitter were just like, it's fine. And so I think it's just a joke, but I feel bad because it may have cost Christian votes potentially. But I have mad respect for Christian's game. He was like the puppet master, and I say that with like total just like bow down to the master. And I honestly, would not have made it to the finale or the final 5 without these people helping me. So clearly I was lost.
Dante, I don't want you to feel like you were also just lost in the wind. I think you were also a crucial part of everybody else's story too.
You
You were in my starting room, and I totally not only did I trust you from beforehand, but I trusted you because you were in my starting room. You and Cammy were like people who I was like straight up talking to, and Michael as well. So you were really like you were why we were there too.
Oh, well, I had fun, you guys. It was a weird first experience. Thank you, and I was so happy.
a really fantastic first experience. Far, you were very memorable. You were very fun. You had a lot of really good clippable moments, so you should be proud.
Love those. They're like my little
Icon.
mementos. I'm like, love them.
Well, now you need to come back and play again. So you can get a bunch more, and you can start a little clip collection, Dante.
No drinking. I have to have no drinking on my shirt. drink limit 0.
Well, be sure to follow Dante. Now, you say on everything. What is that? Is that like Cammy's at PlayStation? Is that Xbox? What is that?
Yeah, follow me on Facebook, on Instagram. I just joined that. There's not much there, but yeah, I love Twitter. I think I'm trying to follow everyone as they leave the game. So if I miss someone, just get at me on Twitter. And I love you guys. What a great season to be a part of.
You're great, Dante. I'm sure you're gonna. I can imagine you playing on like other games, like fans versus favorite, like
Definitely.
heroes versus villains and stuff. You were very memorable. I feel like you were one of the most memorable parts of this.
A lot of fun. You were one of the most fun players we've had in a while, Dante. So good on you.
It's sweet. I had my full fantasy.
Fantasies come true, it seems. Well, Dante, be sure to give Dante a follow everywhere you can follow Dante. And Dante, we will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Well, at the final 4, of course, the Drag Me to Hell round. We all know how this one goes. The players have a few short minutes to strategize. The person eliminated gets to drag the third person from the game, leaving the final 2. Of course, we had Louie, you were the one eliminated, and Alec, you were the one dragged, leaving these 2 as our bottom 2. But let's talk about that final 4 and how from when Audrey opened up the gates to when we had our vote. What happened? What happened? Please tell me.
Deja vu. Who wants to go first?
I mean, I can go. I feel like I did most of the talking, but I honestly feel like of all the rounds I played, even though this is a round I went home, this is my best played round. Like I don't think that there's anything else I could have done. I played for like by the book exactly how you had to play it. And I thought I had it. And I was so shocked when Alec didn't go on, because I just made it so clear, like, Alec, you're going to get third. Like, there's nothing, I don't want to do this, but I don't have any other option. You're going to get third unless we go to a wheel.
I mean, I was even shocked because even watching it back, and I get maybe because there was a lot of commotion. And I mean, like, Louis, you literally were like, it doesn't matter if you don't vote me and vote someone else, I am dragging you. And I was like, maybe he just, I don't know, like, Alec, if you just didn't like connect that.
Yeah, essentially it was literally like, okay, if I go to a wheel and then I just happen to get final 2 because of a wheel, I feel like I won't have enough of a story to say anything. I feel like it's not a good enough of a cap on my story. So I totally wanted to try to like at least win the 3D chess I was playing in terms of trying to get Christian. I essentially tried to make it so that it was either one of us to be voted. Because when the round first started, I was like, Christian, I'm voting you. That's what's happening, even though that wasn't what I was going to do. And I was doing that in hopes that Christian voted Sam, with me knowing that we were going, because I think the only thing that we for sure talked about was like, I'm gonna play. I think it was like, you told me you're playing, I'm playing. We don't have to talk to each other because we've got each other. You know, me and you are friends. And then if we ever even get to Final Four, which is ridiculous that we did, go for the person that'll help us get to Final 2 together.
Yeah.
And he knew that, and he knew that Louis would drag me. So he played me essentially. I essentially was going for me and Christian can do Final 2 together, and I feel like I can talk him. I can at least understand what game he was playing, so that I know what counterpoints to say. Because Louis, I didn't feel like I could win against you. Sam, I didn't even really know your game that much, so I was kind of scared of you. So Christian was the only one that I was kind of confident about winning in Final 2. So I was really hopeful that Christian was gonna vote with me, vote out Sam, and then maybe Sam would have dragged out Christian or Louis. That was my hope, because I didn't want to just wheel out and then it's like, that's how you got final 2. I didn't want an asterisk next to my win, even if I did win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, when Sam started saying we got to vote Lou, it was really easy. Like, I know I mentioned the signal, but regardless of what ended up happening, when Sam said she was voting Lou, I had to vote Lou, because if Lou went out there by any possibility, Alec was getting dragged, and that was my spot in the final 2. And I didn't know what Alec was doing, because we just knew going into this game that it was mentioned before by Nadim, but the blind trust it cannot be understated. It's something that stuck with me from when I was a second boot, and I found out that all of those live returning players were in the same room together. And maybe this isn't how it played out, but I know that, having those previous relationships going into a game and being able to just confidently know that you've got 3 people like deflecting names as the numbers dwindle and you get more confident. I knew that I could trust these people. And so the person I felt it was impossible to beat in the end was Lou. So no matter what happened, I wanted Lou out in this round. And the fact that I knew Alec was going to vote Sam, and I knew Sam was going to vote Lou, it was easy to vote Lou, because I knew Lou would drag Alec. And I didn't necessarily think Sam played a bad game or anything, but I just knew I couldn't beat Lou. Alec, I don't know what he did in this game, because we really never got together. And Sam and I had been in rooms together enough to where I felt a little bit more confident that I could say, we played the same game. I did these things. She did these things. And I really thought I could take credit for the Nadim and Leo stuff that I ended up not being able to do. So that was my thought process there.
Louis, do you feel any type of way?
No, not at all. I'm curious how it would have played out if you did vote with me.
That would essentially, I totally admit that I voted with hope and trust that Christian would follow up, and the fact that he didn't, it was like, oh my god, more power to you. Commend you that you snaked me before I could snake you. That's awesome.
I was worried Sam would drag me. I didn't know how Sam would feel, because honestly, I didn't interact with Sam whatsoever in the game we were in together. So Kevin's tweet, I messaged Alec because I knew he was going to be in the game, and I was so afraid of being second boot that I was desperate to have one person or 2 people that would just deflect my name until I got to jury, because that was my goal. And then Kevin tweeted that tweet, and that brought Sam. Sam messaged me, and she was like, hey, we're going to be in this game together. And I was like, yeah, we were in the same game. I got to have your back. You got to have my back. And then come to the final 4, I didn't want to be in a situation where I was betraying one of these 2 people. And the combination of that and Lou not being able to beat him in the end, or so I thought, but probably still would have lost to. It was just a really easy vote for me.
Yeah, honestly, the thing that, and this is speeding up a bit, but the thing that lost the final vote, why I voted Sam over you, was learning at that point that you had a connection with the entire final 5. I didn't realize that, and to me, if I'm going to decide who wins, it made me think oh, I never really had a shot here, because you had signs of what to do with Alec if you got to this point. So I felt regardless of what I said and did, it wasn't going to matter. And so I valued Sam's game more, because I feel like she didn't have that advantage.
Totally, yeah.
I think, Louis, you were wait, I lost my train of thought. Sorry. Okay. Louis, I was hoping that it was what I said earlier, where I was hoping that you were more, I guess, close to Christian. I really thought you were, in terms of at least this game, because I feel like you and I worked together, but I don't think we ever sat down and were trying, I at least, I don't know if you did, or if you ever actually deflected my name from other people. I just didn't believe you did, even if we were working together.
I honestly didn't have to. I would have. It never really came up that
I never heard Alex's name, and I never
Alex,
Sam's name.
your name didn't go around like I could maybe count on half a hand how many times your name went around at all, if at all.
Yeah, and I never had to deflect Christian's name either. Like, I was more than on board with deflecting both of your names if I need. Like, that's the one thing about me. I'm very loyal in these games. Like, if I tell you something, like, I stick to it. Like, that's what I did with Cammy until it was almost like sealed my fate. Like, if I tell you I got you, I really do have you. But in this situation, I never really had to give much to either of you two because you kind of stayed out of the firing line.
Yeah. And I swear, if you would have given Christian the ultimatum that you gave me, I probably would have just voted Christian or voted you out just so you could drag Christian. It just so happened that it was this way around. And that was what I was saying, was like I was really hopeful that Nadim would have been in this somewhere to go after Christian as well, so that I wouldn't have to.
Well. Oh, Louis, you were eliminated, and Alec, you were dragged, and that left these two at the final two. Just stay here, you two. Let's talk about it. The final two. Christian, Sam, what were your thoughts going into these final speeches? And Alec, Louis, what were your thoughts with your jury questions? And were there any other notable things from the jury questioning to talk about? What are your thoughts? Sam, you want to go first?
Sure. I mean, I am shit at public speaking, so I was shaken to my core that I had gotten to the final two, and I was like, great, I have to answer all these questions with all these intellectual people, and I barely watch this game. Like, I don't know any of these like strategies or really anything, and I was so nervous. And I think Leo's first question, the MyChem one, like loosened me up a little bit, so I wasn't like as stressed. But I didn't think I definitely did probably like stumble on my words a little bit, but I feel like as long as I could get out like my Nadim voting stuff, how I was like going for Louis, my LOS and whatnot, I feel like I had a solid game over Christian, just because like I feel like I worked with Christian towards the end, but I wasn't really sure about like his beginning game because I just like wasn't with him. So I guess I just was like not thinking about what his game could have been. And I was just like focused on mine to like talk mine up. So yeah.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I kind of got the feeling that I was not going to win once Dante started talking about the pregame stuff. And I immediately, like, I was trying to do the math in my head. I need 4 votes. And the direction of most of my talking, it wasn't a job well done, obviously, but I was thinking if I can get Nadim and Leo to vote for me, thinking I have Louis' vote in my pocket, that's as close as I'm going to get, because I didn't work with Goldie at all, so I can't expect Goldie's vote. I assume Sam in some capacity worked with her. Same with Cammy. When Cammy came in with the jury question and she only asked me, I honestly started to think maybe there was a chance I could win, because the fact that she didn't talk to Sam meant, I don't know, I just got it in my head that my answer to Cammy was enough for her to respect the game I had. Obviously, it wasn't disrespect, but she voted for Sam. So I guess I just ran out. I figured going into this with the allegiances I had at 5, that if I ended up in the final 2, I would have 2 votes of people aligned with me, and I was honestly anticipating Dante's vote at the end of this game. So like going into jury, looking at the numbers, my goal was immediately get Louis out or Cammy out. One of those two they both can't be in the final 4. And the way this game has worked, like earlier and earlier, you need to go after those big targets, because I hate to bring up the meta, but like, it was always like, you got to get him out of final 4. You can't let him get out. And then the big target at final 4 was always not being dragged, or they were winning in the end because the game was being respected. So you had to do it at final 5, but then there was a safety round at final 5. So you had to do it at final 6, but there's also a safety. So the first couple of rounds of jury was when I really tried to start getting Lou and Cammy out, and it just didn't happen. So I had to basically shoot for Leo and Nadim's vote, and it didn't work out.
Yeah, this was, I mean, honestly, I didn't, my first time on a jury, which I had waited for so long to be able to do to ask my question, I didn't expect it to, like, if I ever made a jury, for it to be that hard of a decision. It was always like, I'll have a decision made by the time I get there. But I really was going back and forth this entire time. I still felt some sort of loyalty to Christian just because we have interacted and I like him a lot.
Thank you.
There were a few things that made me go to Sam. One was, like I said, I felt like Christian had an advantage because he had so many relationships going in. And that I realized that it wasn't like his relationship to me was really anything all that special. Two, I feel like in these like special minis, it is important that you can factor in the theme of the night. And I really like Sam's answer with the My Chemical Romance, and that she went into like a deep cut. And I don't consider Blink 182 emo. So I feel like that was a reason. It was in this instance, I felt like it was a reason to vote a specific way. And see, I felt kind of bad about forgetting that Sam had played before. So all of those things made me vote for her.
Yeah. I saw how much the jury was essentially kind of leaning. It seemed a lot towards Sam. Like, I don't know. Cammy's question actually gave me the complete opposite feeling, where I was just like, oh, she only asked Christian a question. I thought that seemed to me more like she wants to give you a reason, or give her a reason to vote for you, because she doesn't have one. And I was like, ooh. So the more the questions came, I kind of had the feeling that Sam was going to get most of the votes. So I at least wanted to hype Christian up a little bit at the end there. Because I feel like it kind of got muddied up by most of the pre-gaming stuff. So you didn't really have like an actual, I guess, structure to your game to like vote out to people. So I totally wanted to give you the agency to do that. And then same thing to Sam, when I asked you a question, I totally wanted to at least give you the chance to plead your case in a way that I think nobody really else asked, in terms of like, who do you feel really is the most, like, who did you play around the most? Who did you kind of trust the most? Where did you fit in the house? And I thought, yeah, both of them, you guys answered it beautifully.
A point on my question, I actually had thought about, because I mean, I've wanted to ask the question for ages, and I always thought if somebody said Michelle Fitzgerald, I would not vote for them, just because everyone says that, like in every, like, oh, I really Michelled that. Like it just become like a verb at this point. So I was like, that's an answer. That's an immediate no, but I still voted.
It's funny because I was like, thank God Christian answered first, because I was not ready for that at all. And then he was talking, and I don't watch Big Brother. I had no idea what Christian was saying, like, at all. I was like, did I interpret like what he said? Like, did he say all reality TV? Like, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, stick to it, Survivor, whatever. And I'm not a Michelle stan, like, at all, but it was like the only person that could come into my head at the time. But yeah, so.
Well, then we had our winner crowned by a vote of 5-2, I believe it was.
Yeah, 5-2.
5-2, and Sam, you were the winner.
Thank you.
Guys, any final thoughts on the game? Any final thoughts here?
I think, like, being a part of this cast, it was really awesome, because like I went back and watched the commentary. I looked at all the comments, of course, but like I feel so good about being in such a strong cast. My goal going into this game, amongst winning, was I really wanted to try to direct the flow of the early game to, don't get out the fun, entertaining personalities because you're scared of them. Don't get out returners because you're scared of them. Don't try to make sure that if there's 4 women in the cast and 16 guys, it's not a big deal to go after guys early and try to balance things out, because it's fun to see a gender balance in a game. And so even though things were a little bit imbalanced and Robin was out before the game even started, I was really satisfied that we were able to get to around Final 10, Final 11 with roughly half the cast being men and women. And it doesn't feel like anybody was a dud. I just feel like everybody brought something strong and different, and there wasn't really any kind of archetype anybody in the cast really like strongly fit. Like everybody was playing a very fluid game. I felt like just the people I played with, I was really proud of everybody in this game. And that's why I was so like by Final Four, I just knew no matter who was in the Final Two, everybody would be really stoked for this Final Two. There wouldn't be an easy winner. There wouldn't be, a person that, was robbed, because I really felt like Sam deserved it just as much as I did. I was really satisfied by the end of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I was terrified my first time I played. I barely spoke. And then coming into this one, I wasn't nervous all day. I was like, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to enjoy it. And I was like, as long as I had like one person with me, and that was Christian, like I'll be like a little more like less nervy. And I really did it to have a good time. And I really enjoyed everyone in the cast. I didn't like dislike anyone. I feel like everyone themselves had a good time. And I just really had fun. And that was just, I feel like the point of it for like the players and the people watching. And yeah, I'm just really happy. I got to obviously win and then play and be against the Final Two with Christian.
Louis, Alex?
I feel like this was so much fun. I had so much fun compared to my the other minis that I played. It was like everybody talks about kind of that's what you say is like you go in to have fun. Everybody, usually the winner and everybody who's in the final jury is like, oh yeah, we just went in to have fun. And the first couple times that I played, I was like, I want to win. I want to get out here and make moves. I want to be a legend icon. And that didn't work out for me at all. But coming into like, I'm just going to sit here and give good energy and hopefully I get good energy back. It totally worked out. So it's like, I feel like that was the key, is just have a lot of fun, because it was.
For me, this was my best Sequester experience. Despite the game that I won, like I'm more proud of this game. I think I played a better game and I enjoyed this game more. I came into it, and TR knows this, I was planning this for a few weeks. And I was just planning it as a joke. Like I planned to be out third or fourth playing this ridiculous character, just showing people that it's dumb to boot returning players immediately, just have some fun with it and get out. As the game went on, like I played the game that I wanted to. And I think more than anything that I'm proud of is the fact that I came out and people loved the Mini as a whole. Like the fact that it's being compared to the 5.8 Mini is more important to me than anything, that people actually enjoyed watching it, and it's something that'll be remembered. And the support that I got and the amount of love that I got for the game that I played, means the world. I wanted to show, if I ever got the chance again, to show that I am a top tier player. And I hope I somewhat did that. So yeah, this was a wonderful experience, and congratulations to the Final Two again. You both were great.
Thank you.
I was showing our socials a little bit. I want to show Christian and Sam's as well. So there's Sam right there. Be sure to give Sam a follow on Twitter. You can also do the same thing for second place, our man Booger Picking Nose King, whatever you want to call him, Christian. Give him a follow as well. So go give Alec, Louis, Sam, and Christian the much needed love and not much needed, but I say much deserved love on Twitter. Show them some support. And I want to thank you all for taking the time to spend the last, chunk of time with us discussing this game. So thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, TR.
Thank you.
Of course. I'm going to move you all backstage while I wrap up here, so you're welcome to leave, whenever. Thank you guys again, and we'll see you in the next one. Congrats on your win. Congrats on making it to jury, guys. And congrats on an all-around great mini. Everyone loved it. So, Lou, that leaves you and me, bud.
Yes,
just
sir.
us now. I think we're alone now. What are any final thoughts for you? It seems like you got most of it out off your chest, but
I did. I mean, once again, like, this community means so much to me. Obviously, I feel like I spend the majority of my time on this web camera now talking about it. But yeah, it was exactly how I wanted it. I couldn't have asked for anything more. I just wanted to put out a good game. I wanted people to enjoy watching it. I wanted to have fun, and I wanted to show that after Winners at War, which I feel like I completely flopped, I wanted to show that I am, when I talked to Charlie last night, and I said this, like, him asking that question in his final jury all the time, like, who do you consider the best Sequester player of all time? I'm not there, but I want to be at least in consideration. And I hope I was able to do that.
You're the one of all time to me.
Oh, well, that's all. That's all that matters.
Yeah, of course. You did a really great job. You were really fun to watch. I also, just because of the gimmick, I didn't think you would last very long. So, you continued to impress and amaze and astound, and your track record is far better than mine.
No, it wasn't until last night. I think we were about even until last night.
You certainly changed that around. Congrats, Louis. You did a fantastic job once again. You can follow Louis Rank and Rate on Twitter.
I'm so excited I get to talk about another.
Lou also has the same Twitter as you. Strangely enough, Rank and Rate.
I said it last night. I was going to make another Twitter, but I didn't end up doing it because I revealed myself. So yeah.
Want to give some love to our mods in the chat. Give those brave boys a follow. Without them, I would be a shell of a man. So thank you to them. You can follow us on our Twitch. Of course, as this little ticker at the bottom is saying, Louis. Fuck, I gotta get this down. Louis is going to be leading our live commentary tonight. We've got some great guests on the docket on the panel. So be sure to tune in around. A little about 2 hours from now or so, a little 2 hours and some change, we'll say, around 7:45 Eastern. Louis, I finally got it. It's going to be going live with some of your faves, so you won't want to miss that. I myself am going to be taking the night off. I'm still going to be watching the mini. Of course, I can't take an actual night off, but taking the night off from the podcast, taking a little break, and then Louis will be back tomorrow morning for tomorrow's after show, where he will be sitting down with some of the players from tonight's game. So tune into all that. I have shown this kind of every episode we've done the last chunk of time. Let me pull the link from it real quick, and then I'll pull it back up here. This is a great resource to show your support for the Black Lives Matter cause, of course, as several of our guests today said, and thank you to those who did pointing it out. This is an important issue. There are arrests still need to be made. There are donations that still need to be made. There are petitions that still need to be signed. There are, the word that needs to get spread and get put out there. There are injustices happening all the time. We're hearing about them left and right. So don't let this cause die down. Show your support. This link is a great resource to do so. It has all different ways that you can help, educate yourself, all sorts of things. I have this link. I just dropped it in the chat. It's right here. It's pinned on my Twitter if you're interested. You can check all that out. I think I showed this before. You can follow the show at Podquester Mini. That's where I'll probably be posting a scream schedule. My scream schedule is I scream all day, every day when I'm not streaming. But my stream schedule will be coming out tonight on Podquester Mini. So look for that. What else? Oh, yes. I want to thank LOS is Immunity Idol for the chart that I used as reference today. So thank you to LOS is Immunity Idol. LOS is Immunity Idol is in the Discord. So if you're interested in mingling with LOS is an Immunity Idol, or is Immunity Idol, shouldn't have the N in there, then you can go to that Discord to do so, and I will be dropping the link right now in the chat. So if you're interested, boom, there you go. Come join the fun. Great way to mingle with Sequester alumni, Sequester fans alike. Why not? Why not?
Why not? Do it.
Looks like we're at 929 members of the Sequester Patreon, and we are at 621 subscribers.
22. Ooh, look below it.
Shit.
Cammy.
Oh, thank you, Cammy. Thank you, Cammy.
That is the most important, probably. Well, everyone's equally important, but that's an important one.
Thank you, Cammy.
Thank you, Kevin.
22. This was exciting. We've come a long way from when Corey Brunson was saying that our subscriber count was embarrassing just a month ago or so. I think we are now 5 times our following. So, hey, thank you guys for watching. What else?
Muted yourself. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. So you can also, draft Sequester. Go support Renee. Draft Sequester. Go support Renee. She does one for every single mini, I believe. So there should be another one tonight.
Did you draft me?
Of course I
did. You draft Lou?
Well, yeah, I didn't draft you.
You drafted Lou. Okay, just check.
Let's get that.
You didn't know it was me, so
I just saw that Dante subscribed. Thank you, Dante. But yes, Sequester Drafts. If you are interested in submitting a draft for the minis, I believe you can do so up until like the second round in the minis. So once the game starts, you can suss out the players, get your opinions set on them, and then make your drafts. And I believe Renee is doing a fun thing where the winners of all the drafts from the next chunk of minis, she is going to personally sponsor to put on a private mini with those winners. So there you go. That's a fun incentive to participate. So go show your support that way. Of course, much love to Liquidated. Liquidated, puts our live commentaries in the multi-viewer for the games. I believe we'll also be in there tonight. So thank you again, Liquidated. Go give Liquidated a follow. The usual spiel I do, if you hold on. There we go. My usual spiel I do, if you want to watch Sequester, you can go to sequesteraccess.com/live feed. Don't even ask me if I've updated this yet, because clearly I still haven't. These are the old names. Don't look. But if you do want to look at the game and watch it, you can do it at sequesteraccess.com/live feed. On how to watch actual game down here. You can show your support for the community, for Audrey, for this game we all love so much, and you can do that by becoming a member on the Sequester Patreon. Different payment amounts depending on how much or little you are comfortable with giving at the moment. So go show your support that way, and then you could be in a mini, and you could be on this podcast. Wouldn't that be fun? I'm just having so much fun thinking about it. Wow. So why not do that, huh, Louis? Why wouldn't people want to?
There's literally zero reason not to.
I mean, this guy is so fucking desperate to play these games. He has to put on disguises to play it now. That's how much he loves it. So if that doesn't say enough, I don't know what.
I don't know how to get on again. I don't know what I could do.
I don't know. I think you and I should submit for the same mini as in disguise as each other.
Yes.
I beat you. And
I was thinking like one of those, like, you ever see like with the cartoons when the rats are like on top of each other and wearing like a suit. Like a trench coat. Yes. Yeah, the trench coat. Like we would have to be like me on your shoulders in one trench coat. And like, gotcha. It's both.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think I can get behind that. I think
we'll
figure this out.
Yeah.
We'll workshop it.
We'll do it offline.
We'll figure this out. You might see Louis and I on each other's shoulders in a trench coat at some point soon in a mini. Not tonight, because Louis will be doing live commentary.
Yeah.
But maybe sometime soon. The theme song that we play at the beginning and the end of every episode, or most episodes, I believe, is by Will from America. Very talented. He does all the music for the Sequester games himself. So if you find yourself jamming out to them, which, by the way, I want to say, the last few songs that they've introduced, the ones during the prom mini, the ones during the EMO night, certified bops.
Such bop.
Very good. I remember the slow dance during the prom. Can
we get a playlist?
Yeah, we need a Sequester playlist, Will from America. So tweet out Will from America and ask him for that. Beg him for it, please, Will. Will, are you listening? We need a playlist. Come on. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it. If you want to show support to our fearless leader, Audrey, I really fucked up my lighting by moving the computer around. But if you want to show support, if you want to show support to Audrey, you can follow her that way. At Audrey on her personal account, at Sequester Access for the official Sequester Twitter. Louis, I just had food delivered, so I'm going to hop off.
Yes.
I'm going to get to eat. What are you going to do now, Louis?
I'll probably
an hour.
I'm going to eat something as well, and then I'm so excited. I'm such a nerd. I get so excited. I'm like, oh, there's another one in like a couple minutes. So I'm very excited.
Another one tomorrow when you do the after show.
There you go.
It's Louis' dream here, this podcast. It's so beautiful that he and I can cross paths. Well, Louis, you know what? I hope that this isn't the last time we see you play. I hope we can figure something out to get you back in that damn game.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll do one of the private ones at some point.
I mean it when I say I wasn't just joking. I think you might be the best Sequester Mini player.
Oh, well, thank you. That's Jacob, but thank you. What the hell is my opinion? Yeah. Well, no, you're up there. Jacob, I would put Jacob Puya top 2, and then I hope to be somewhere in the conversation after.
Right. Okay, but I didn't ask you for your picks. I'm telling you.
Oh, right. True. Well,
yeah.
thank you.
So. Okay. I mean, Jacob and Pooh are great. You know, let's not get it twisted here.
Yeah.
I love them. They're great. Louis, what are you doing to me, man? You're making me look terrible here. Okay, yeah, fine. You know what? Fuck Louis. Louis terrible. Puya, Jacob, tied. Best Sequester players. I said it, and that's it. And Mallory's letting me know that the food is getting cold, so I am going to...
Oh, what do you order? What's for dinner?
We ordered Taco Bell. Just something quick. You know, nothing fancy. No bells, no whistles.
What's your Taco Bell order?
I like their
crispy gordita crunch.
Mallory does. Mallory likes those.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to cut to the outro now. Thank you, everyone, for sticking around watching the show. Be sure to tune in an hour and 10 minutes on our Twitch once again to find Louis and 5 other Sequester friends catching tonight's mini. And yes, as Potter from Tacoma says, be sure to like the video, hit the subscribe button, show your support. We love it. Okay, we'll see you in the next one, which to say is the live commentary in an hour and 10 minutes. So we'll see you there. Okay. As soon as I hit this button, it's over for you hoes. Bye.